Welcome everyone. It's time for day number 2 of the group stage here at Riyadh Masters.
حياكم الله أعزائنا المشاهدين في اليوم الثاني من بطولة رياض ماسترز، جاهزين نقدم لكم أفضل دوتا موجودة عندنا في العالم.
Fancy, I feel like it was just a couple of hours ago that I last saw you. We had a pretty late day 1.
We're gonna have a second late day as well, and I'm loving it. I don't know about you, but I'm loving it. Having so much fun being here. أعزائنا المشاهدين الوقت الآن اللي نبدأ فيه في اليوم الثاني من الجروب ستيج، راح يبدأ بأي لحظة. الفرق جاهزين في المسرح وجاهزين نقدمهم لكم.
I'm relishing the opportunity. Group stage is a fun time to learn about where we are right now in the patch and the game. And for this matchup specifically, maybe a little regional head-to-head as well.
في هذا الماتش أعزائنا المشاهدين راح نشوف ريجنال ماتش ابس، مباراة ما هي غريبة عن منطقة شرق أوروبا، ودنا نشوف ايش ممكن يقدمون كل الفريقين من ناحية ايش ممكن يسوون في الأداء، خصوصا إنه الفترة الأخيرة كل الفريقين ما كانوا في أفضل أدائهم.
Both these teams came in through the play-in stage, and to make it here, they had to defeat their own region mates, 9Pandas taking down VP, OG taking down Entity.
زي ما انتم عارفين كل الفريقين كانوا متواجدين معنا في البلاي-ان ستيج، وكلهم حاربوا الى اخر لحظه في اول يومين معنا في رياض ماسترز عشان يقدرون يوصلون للحظه هذه، وكلهم اضطروا انهم يهزمون الريجنال تيمز اللي عندهم فعشان يقدرون يوصلون للمرحله هذه، فاكيد انهم ما خاطروا ولا سووا كل هذا الا عشان يقدرون يقدمون لنا افضل دوتا ممكن نشوفها.
Well, let's get things underway then, Fancy. Let's bring out our Eastern European team. Nine Pandas! It's a fun mix of senior veterans on this team and newcomers as well. They've been going through a rock, paper, scissors in their region between their other 2 teams that keep showing up to every single major. Here at Riyadh Masters, let's see if they can leave an impression.
فريق 9 بانداز من شرق أوروبا الفترة الأخيرة ما كانوا في أدائهم الأفضل، لكن قدروا أنهم يواجهون الأغلب في كل ال3 ميادين اللي شاهدناها في السنة. حاليا الآن قاعدين موجودين عندنا في الرياض جاهزين أنهم يورون ايش اللي ممكن يقدمونه ضد فريق خصمهم، لأن خصمهم أبدا الفريق ما هو بسيط. أبطال تي آي مرتين على التوالي فريق أو جي. فريق أو جي ما هو غريب عن المسرح، كانوا متواجدين في رياض ماسترز في السنة الماضية وأدائهم كان في مستوى جدا كويس، لكن مع رجوع السب إلى الروستر بعد سنة كاملة ما كان متواجد معهم، ما كان حاضر في مباريات اللان أبدا. اليوم جايين نشهد روستر بحلة جديدة ودنا نشوف وش ممكن يقدمون معنا.
The Western European region's been cutthroat, and OG hasn't had much opportunities to show their mettle on stage. But now, for the first time since Arlington, Seb's back on the main event. Let's see if this time they got what it takes.
ودنا نشوف إذا الجلوري حق فريق أو جي ممكن يرجع معانا في هذه البطولة، أو فريق 9 بانداز بيكون عندهم الأفضلية بحكم أن مبارياتهم في البلاينج جروبز كانت جدا مثالية، وأكيد أنهم بيستمرون في نهاية الجروب ستيج بأفضل ما عندهم. فخلونا على طول نرجع للأستوديو نتكلم أكثر على إيش ممكن يصير في هذه المباراة.
You know what it's time for, my friends? Get into your computers, get to the chairs, and let's get this draft and game number 1 underway.
Very much, Fancy, and thank you very much, Tsunami. And we are ready to watch some 9 Pandas versus OG. So as they're heading over to their computers to sit down and join the lobby and start the game, we're going to talk about some of the Dota things. Now, first, I do want to point out that both these teams are featured at the bottom 2 of Group A. They're 1 and 3. It's not great, but this series will decide which one of these 2 teams will be a little bit more safe, because bottom two does get eliminated per group, so they need a couple of points on board. But earlier I asked Effie what the playstyle was for 9Pandas. Purge, would you be able to describe OG's playstyle, like for someone that might have missed the games that they played at the play-ins and yesterday?
I mean, they're definitely very talented. Seb's 4 position is like a little bit, he picks weird heroes sometimes, very confident in himself. BZM has just like a very explosive playstyle. His hero pool is sometimes a little bit different as well, but he's always very aggressive, wants to go dominate his opponents basically. But across the board, Yuragi very safe, consistently has good performances, but they're just generally a little outmatched. So it's hard to say these good things all the time, because when you lose a game, you almost always look weaker anyways. But they are genuinely very talented players. They can definitely bring it to 9Pandas.
They can bring it to 9Pandas. I mean, both teams have shown even results, so potentially they're on the same level, which means this will be maybe a more competitive game between them rather than the ones that they had yesterday. I believe, Faith-Bian, you watched some of OG's games yesterday as they were up against both Extreme and PSG LGD. What did you think of OG yesterday?
OG, they had some great games, and also, I think because they already played the play-in section and they still play same style with play-in section, so they kind of struggle because the enemy already know you will pick Enigma, and I was ready for this. Yeah.
Do you think that if a team is playing like in a group stages, which is, if you count the play-ins as well, that's a lot of games, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that teams should have a lot of different play styles to rotate, basically?
Yeah, I think every team you should, like, when the tournament going on, you should change your strategy to a better strategy, and you should learn from other teams and progress yourself.
That's maybe something that we're hoping to see them put into practice today, Effie. We have the draft on board. 9Pandas, Dire, OG, Radiant, and first pick. I don't think there's anything too surprising coming out of our bands right here.
No, you see the Broodmother and Undying taken out by OG. I mean, 2 staple heroes of the patch even after the E-patch. And 9Pandas banned the Enigma. So I was quite curious what take they would have playing into OG, because they've been running the Enigma whenever they can, but to be honest, they've lost with it quite a bit. But 9Pandas just make the decision to not give it to them anyway, don't allow them their comfort zone, and force them to play something else. But I was actually quite curious, Faith-Bian, if you could shed some light on Enigma now that the new patch has come out. Why is it that this hero has become so popular all of a sudden?
They buffed Enigma first skill, and this hero now this hero is a strong lane, and you can give team fight to your team, and you can buy flexible items. So generally, it's a good support.
So you think that any hero that can give his team fight in the first phase is valuable?
I think laning is always important in this patch. So Enigma gives good lane, so that's why he's popular.
So you would say that the laning aspect is actually much more valuable than the team fight. It's just like an extra addition to it.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And just a follow-up question to that is, when would you rather run the Enigma as an offlaner versus a support, in your opinion?
I don't think Enigma is a good offlaner right now, this hero, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not?
Because you are not so tanky, and there's no race pact in this patch, so
I miss it too.
yeah, you can't pressure too much. But we also saw one game we have position 3 Enigma and he by Dom, so I think maybe sometimes it's still good, but I don't think it's a generally option.
Gotcha. Interestingly, OG has actually been playing it primarily on Seb as the 4 position. Which is kind of cool. But this game, probably it's going to be Elder Titan for Seb here. They're primarily putting on him over Taiga.
It will tick the same boxes. I mean, it's a team fight hero that you can pick in the opening, right?
Yeah, and like Faith-Bian mentioned yesterday, it's a very good tournament hero, because in these high reward tournaments, enemy team tends to clump up together. So Elder Titan takes advantage of clumped up situations. So this hero has shifted in priority for a lot of these teams. So we get the Doom Oracle coming out for 9Pandas. I think this Oracle is actually quite a good pick. We don't see it very often come out in the first phase, but I do like it a lot versus ET because it's such a simple matter to dispel ET's buff from his spirit with Oracle's Q. Whereas with something like a Shadow Demon, you're expending an ulti to debuff the ET, but here it's just low cooldown first spell.
Yeah, it's very good counter on lane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely where it matters the most. Don't let him out-harass you and zone you from the game.
So what are they going to try to protect on both sides? On the side of OG, of course, they want to remove any threat to the Naga Siren. So that's someone they picked up there. But what does 9Pandas want to protect? Like Doom Oracle, pretty good. Is there anything in particular they will try to ban here against OG?
Probably banning out the second support that OG might go for is probably their call on second pick, since they don't really have identified draft, whereas OG needs to protect Naga, like you said. I do think it's interesting to see Naga picked first phase, though. I feel like I see it a lot like banned second phase, but OG feels very comfortable playing it as their carry, so they're going to open with it. That's their statement hero.
I think this Naga is actually quite good because you already see the Doom, right? So you know that Naga is going to have a good lane versus Doom. She's also one of the better carry heroes at playing versus Doom because not only is it difficult to find the real Naga and Doom her, but she can counter his initiation, right? If suddenly 9Pandas are taking the fight, boom, you press Song and your team disengages. So it's always been a traditional counter in that sense.
Kind of good against Oracle, too, in a lot of ways. You know, if go send illusions to the back line, you can find him easier.
Yeah, it's super annoying for Oracle, actually. There's no way to deal with illusions.
Run away. Go invisible.
Get punched in the face.
Shadow Amulet.
I'm really looking forward that 9Panda, if they can pick Alchemist or Nature Prophet for Ramses. These two heroes he really likes to play, and I think it's a good counter to Naga because you can speed up your tempo.
Yeah. Do you think Nature's Prophet still has a place in this meta? Because a lot of teams stopped picking it.
Yeah, but yesterday we saw 9Panda play it, and I think it's pretty good. I think it depends on player. If you are really good Nature Prophet player, maybe you can try it.
You can still play it.
Yeah.
What item build would you like to see out of Nature's Prophet? Like, how do you think it fits into this meta?
For this game, you just farm and general like damage building. Yeah.
I see. I kind of understand that actually because Nature's Prophet can counterplay the map versus Naga because she always has her illusions pushing out lanes.
Yeah.
So you can just TP, push out a lane, join your team.
Yes.
That sounds pretty cool. I also like the Alchemist idea because we saw 9Pandas win versus it. They had a Mega Creep come back. Always exciting. I wouldn't mind seeing Alchemist at all, especially because we have Oracle, right? There's so much healing that can come out of Oracle plus Alchemist.
Oh, we still have Bat Rider here.
Yeah, and actually we still have the most picked hero of the tournament in as well, in case OG wants to go for that as a support with the
Still Rubik?
Yeah. Still Rubik, and Snapfire was actually second. So it's actually Snapfire, Bat, Rubik. So they ban out the Snap, get Bat on the side of 9Pandas. We'll see if OG even wants Rubik, because I would imagine Rubik is mostly played as the POS 4, and with Taiga now basically playing POS 5, right? It's maybe not his hero to play in this one.
I mean, I don't know if it matters too much for... I feel like Taiga and Seb are playing 4.5, 4.5 each. That's really what it feels like. We've even seen Taiga play Willow from the 5 position, which isn't really her best role, but I think they can make it work. Also, Celery from Gaming Gladiators played 5 Rubik yesterday.
Not the best Rubik game, though, for OG. I just don't really like the spells on 9Pan. Stealing Doom's great, obviously. Stealing Lasso can be good, but maybe not the best game for Rubik.
Really? I think it's a really good Rubik game.
What spells do you like?
Well, it's Doom's best counter from the support role because there's no way to stop Rubik from stealing Doom, so you can always have a Doom in the early game if Rubik's ready to steal it. You can also save heroes with your Shard against Bat Rider.
That's true.
It's pretty nice, in my opinion.
Well, they're taking their time here, digging into their bonus time. What do you think they're discussing right now, Faithpian?
They want to pick a combo pick. I think maybe with mid hero. Oh.
Coddle Spirit Breaker. Well, I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card.
I thought for sure the Coddle plus Storm.
Yeah.
After the Coddle came out, but they went for Spirit Breaker instead.
This is surprised me.
He needs more mana. Charge more often. Very important.
I mean, I guess this could be an offlane flex too. It doesn't necessarily have to be going mid here.
It's DM's played it twice so far, so probably offlane.
Yeah, but I don't think this is a good hero right now because they can stop your charge easily, and also Oracle can dispel you, so it's quite annoying.
You're actually very correct. Like, you can flame break away the charge. You can stop charge with Oracle's Q.
Yeah.
You can also just disarm Spirit Breaker so he can't attack.
Yeah.
And you can dispel Bulldoze, right?
There it is.
Maybe the goal, though, is that because they're going to be split pushing so much, it gives them better catch when they do finally want to engage on a kill. You know, you spot somebody with an illusion, start a charge from across the map, team smokes in. Maybe it's something like that. And they do need somebody to go in with their lineup.
I mean, right now, this Alchemist looks so free farm. No pressure on Alchemist. I think OG now, I think they maybe should move this Koto to mid so they can make some pressure.
Huh.
How does a Keeper of the Light do in the mid lane versus probably a Bat Rider?
He does great. He just bosses the wave. He never puts himself in harm's way versus the Bat Rider. And honestly, I would like that. That way they can actually take advantage of their Spirit Breaker before it comes too countered. Actually, I think the idea behind the Spirit Breaker is that they want to find Oracle. So they need something to give them vision of the Oracle on the backline. So because of the charge, that's the way that they're going to catch Oracle. I think that's why they picked this hero, even though it's countered.
Makes sense.
Well, let's see what they're worried about. On the side of 9Pandas, it looks like we are missing a hero for, actually for Antares, I would almost say. Do we think this Bat is a support?
Yeah, it's an entire spot, I would say.
Yeah?
It's one of his most played heroes, and I feel like it's just... It's easy to match or bother the Spirit Breaker in the early game if you shift the Spot Rider to support.
Okay, so then we're looking for a Kiyotaka hero.
Yeah.
You can never count out Tinker if you're playing against 9Pandas.
I make sense that 9Pandas ban the Ember, though, because the Coddle seems fine, but it doesn't have any obvious combos on their team, right? Yeah. So it's kind of like, okay, you get to pick your hero later, but your Coddle might feel a little weird. Maybe they picked it because they wanted to, like, de-push a little bit with the illusions and just make sure that Naga has all the space in the world, like they're feeling confident late game. But like you guys pointed out, now their gank is just kind of mediocre. Their ability to pressure the Alchemist just doesn't feel that awesome, unless it's mid.
So, Faithian, what do you think OG are lacking? Like, we know that the Coddle mid-flex is still open, but because they can get countered by 9Pandas on the last pick, what kind of mid-hero do you think they can go for here?
They definitely need some pressure on early stage. They have Naga need farm, and they need someone to lead other players to go in jungle to kill Alchemist or push tower, something like that.
They played Coddle one other time, and it was Seb that played it, so yeah, they pick a mid.
I like Puck here. Puck is a hero that fits all of the descriptions that Faithian just gave. It's also a hero that can kill the Alchemist and the Bat Rider in the early game. It also jumps on the Oracle in the backline, which I think is very important because it's why they picked Spirit Breaker. So Oracle can just go in with the Spirit Breaker. I mean, the Puck can go in with the Spirit Breaker, find the Coddle, kill him very quickly, and make it so that they can take the fight.
And it's not super easy to get doomed. You have some solutions in case you do go in and you're worried about getting caught like that. So, and Coddle Puck is honestly probably not that bad. They're not the most spammable spells, but lowering the cooldown by like 6 is still pretty great.
I think they had to Puck here because if they picked a more conventional hero in the sense that it's more popular, it would have gotten counterpicked on 24. But a 23 Puck is very difficult to counter. Like, he has very few bad matchups. Like,
They can pick Tiny to counter Puck.
but then you have a Tiny on your team.
But mid Tiny is good,
It's
actually.
okay, you think?
Or they can put an Alchemist to mid if they want. Okay,
Or they
Windranger.
can put Wind Ranger mid.
Yeah, she doesn't really die too easy. It's like 3 right clickers on the enemy team, so turn on Wind Run, you survive.
Do you like this one, Ranger?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think this pick for 9Panda is very easy. They just need something like you can fight on early stage and making space for Alchemist. I think Wind Ranger is good, and I really like Alchemist in this game. I think they can win this.
With their Alchemist,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a good assessment. What I like about Wind Ranger in this game too is she's one of the better mid-heroes at killing Naga as the game scales, because she typically buys BKB regardless of what the carry matchup is, so she can just focus fire the main Naga. She's going to have the Gleipnir or Mjolnir depending on how you play. She's going to have the damage for the illusions, and she can tunnel vision the real one. So I think that gives them a Naga solution also.
All
Yep.
right.
They've got a good mix of disable and 9Pandas, yeah. Getting lockdowns once they do get them should chain and net them a lot of kills.
So do you think that the Alchemist is threatened at all this game, Faithion, by any of OG's heroes?
Actually not. I don't think this Puck is good.
You don't think it can threaten
Yeah,
Alchemist?
Puck actually I think very afraid of Alchemist because you need a lot of item to deal damage, but Alchemist will go for you like very quickly, and you don't have enough damage for it.
So you're saying Alchemist gets his items way faster than Puck gets his items?
Yeah, but Puck can catch Oracle. So I think this game depends on how fast Alchemist is. Yeah.
What about the rest of OG's lineup? Do you think Naga can, with items, fight Alchemist?
Late game can. Yeah.
Okay.
Late game, OG will have a shot. How do they get to the late game, Purge?
They need a Spirit Vessel. And it needs to not get countered by Oracle in 2 different ways.
Ooh, that sounds like maybe a tough ask. It sounds like OG has got their work cut out for them. My panelists all favor 9Pandas a little bit. Any other glimmer of light for OG's draft coming out here, Effie?
I think that if they can use their Spirit Breaker to kill the Oracle first, and they can just pick and choose their fights, right? If they can take the fights after getting a pick off, they have a really good shot, because Naga is a fast farmer. But for the most part, it's a losing battle.
Okay, we're going to find out how things are going to go down, though. We're heading over to Cap and SVG for the game.
Two teams that had a bit of a rough day one, both going 1-3. Have an opportunity here to be able to right the ship at the start of day 2 by taking on an opponent that is also suffering a little bit. Avery, do you have an early favorite in this matchup? I certainly do.
Okay, who is it?
9Pandas.
Oh, wow.
I believe in these guys. I think they're a solid team, and OG has not really proven to me that they're ready to go just yet.
Okay, but
Uh-huh.
the longer a tournament goes, the more sub powers up.
That, 100%, yeah. I mean, I think 9Pandas will do better at this tournament, but I think OG has a higher chance of winning the whole thing.
Well,
Does that make
makes
sense?
Absolutely no sense, but I'll trust you on it either way. I think 9Pandas definitely got a lot of their comfort picks again. I think their best hero has been this Alchemist in terms of their confidence with it, not necessarily the results.
Okay.
It just seems like any time Ramsey can get this hero later on in the draft, they take it. They don't believe it has answers. They feel like his acceleration is going to be too fast for maybe the carry matchups to deal with.
Yeah.
It's hard to blame him if he's just that confident on it. He's just going to run it, jam it every time, and make enemies deal with it. We'll see if it can prove fruitful here again as he picks it once more up. And we'll try and get as much gold as he can.
I mean, I will say that I completely agreed with Faith Beyond. I feel like I've seen Puck versus Alchemist so many times that it rarely ever looks good for the Puck.
No, this used to be a matchup you could even put the Alch mid.
Yeah.
If you remember those days. I think it's still a matchup that Alch might just win based off of how strong Acid Spray is now. The stun can be hard to land, but the mid game is just way too strong for the Alch. You don't have the damage ramp as Puck. It usually takes your 3rd or 4th item to start clearing through him. However, in the late game, it's a very good matchup for him as you just get kited around with the coil talents and you can never really land on the Puck. You have a chance to burst him off the Abyssal timing. That's pretty much it. So if you're 9Pandas here, your skill is still pretty solid. You have the Oracle to back it up. Again, I think this is a hero we saw yesterday. Toronto Tokyo played it. Seems like these Eastern European teams have a bit of a shared meta. I expect the Oracle to rise in priority over this tournament. I think that hero is just ridiculously good as long as you're not getting Zoo'd. And the Zoo seems to be falling off a little bit, right?
Sure,
The Beast,
yeah.
Is that hero even a Zoo hero? I don't know. They're going to get first blood here.
That
Acid
is
Spray.
very easily first blood. Pops the Fairy Fire, but pretty good body blocking and positioning there from Ramses. Secures first blood for himself.
That is a 400 plus gold kill with the plus 12 from Grieful Screed.
Yeah, that is
just
true.
Pure value in the bank. As Seb feeds away, not a kill I would have expected. I actually think it's pretty hard to get on this Coddle at the level 1. They find the opening, the strength of the Alch in this laning phase, and one of the reasons I think...
Oh, what a play from Antares.
Damn.
Taiga's going to have to use a TP to get out of here,
And
which
that is-
means if he dies in this period of time, it's going to be really bad.
even if he doesn't, it's bad. Elder Titan is not a hero you want to expend mana like this. These TP scrolls are really expensive. You have limited spirits, you have limited stuns, especially pushing towards level 3. Now you're an Elder Titan with no spells, sitting on a bunch of health regen. Feels terrible. I mean, look at the consumable gold. None of it's doing anything for Taiga right now.
Yeah.
OG having struggles on the side lanes already with their supports, and it's letting 9Pandas get to pretty significant early boost for the heroes that have built-in gold talents in the Doom and the Alchemist, right? These are not two cores you want to give a good early start to. They're just going to run away with it.
Kiyotaka, I think you actually mentioned to me, I wasn't sure if you're going to elaborate on this too much. I think you said that Kiyotaka's having a rough tournament. Is that true?
That is absolutely... Would you care to elaborate? Thought you were referencing that meme. No, I would not. Yeah, I was looking at the stats, and all the other turns we've casted, when I look at 9Pandas, we've talked about it a lot, I feel like it is a team built around Kiyotaka popping off.
Yes.
It's around his Tinker, his Puck, his Storms, whatever these heroes that are, even the Wind Ranger, Snapfire that he's shown to be a KDA monster on. This tournament so far, his KDA has been a paltry 3.5 or so.
And that is pretty bad for Kiyotaka.
Extremely low. I think for reference sake, at Berlin, his pop-out tournament, he was averaging 15, 16 for a lot of that tournament. Something is just not clicking for him right now. I think the hero pool's a little off. We're still early in the tournament in terms of games, but sample size, because they played the play-in, is, you know, it's around 10 at least. Something is not clicking right now for him, and it hurts 9Pandas a lot, because he's the fulcrum point. You know, Ramses can carry some of these games, but it's not about him necessarily. About what the man does from mid.
Especially if Ramses is going to be under assault like this, which they will manage to get that kill pretty easily. They'll try and return some fire here from Solo, but doesn't really look like it's going to work, frankly. So, good gank here from Taiga, who, frankly, I don't think he was getting much done in that other lane.
And these are two players from OG that I expect to continue to step up more over the course of the tournament as they figure out what their hero pools look like and what they want to thrive on, and it's Seb and Taiga. I think especially since Taiga kind of got displaced from that 4, it pushes more onus on OG for figuring out what works for him in terms of the hero pool and the early 5 to 10 minutes. What works for OG as a team in terms of the laning phase and getting them out into a decent position, because I think that's where some of their struggles have lied. I feel like Yuragi, he gets left on an island sometimes, which is a role he used to fill on some of the older versions of his team. You know, he would play some of the fighting carries like the Lone Druids, the Kunkkas, the Monkey Kings, where you can do that on.
Yeah.
But if you're putting them on more of these hard carries, generally you want to give him a bit more resources. This is another game where OG are just putting 3 heroes top very early, giving that Naga the solo XP, but he's in a 1-on-2.
Nice bounce back there with the flame break. That's going to put Taiga out of position and should get the kill. Solo takes the last hit with the Purifying Flames, and Tari's going to take some damage in return here. Now, when you mentioned Kiyotaka, right, and okay, this puts a lot of pressure on Ramses, it made me think about the 9Pandas offlane, which frankly, I feel like I don't have a great picture of, despite the fact we've casted so many games of them. So where do you think Miro, like, kind of sits in this responsibility of carrying the game?
I think he can kind of do it all a bit. Ramsey's going to be okay here if he's going to stun himself, but I mean, what can you do? Actually, he might not be okay.
Yeah, the blast is going to come in with the sleep. Making a run for it. DM, he's going to get some hits in him, and that's going to finish him off. They do get a trade-off of kills.
Yeah, Solo's real happy with these levels right now. He's just getting XP in the bank.
Yes.
And on Oracle, that is really nice. Again, I don't think Alk cares too much about deaths on lane if he has stacks waiting for him, which doesn't really here. Still, if he gets good spawns, it doesn't matter too much, and you're getting solo XP on a Doom and a Wind Ranger. This is a very interesting trade-off. I'm not sure who it favors. It might just come down to who's getting more CS out of these one-on-ones, which also look very even. Well, there's another coil.
Yeah, we're just going to not stop with the action as Tari's is probably going to die here, as they actually always have that combo. Maybe it's part of the reason they went for the puck, the coddle puck, to be able to break, force break the coil is interesting.
It is a very nice and very reliable combo.
Yeah.
This is something that was very popular when Coddle had the old Blinding Light off of his ult, and now he just has it all the time. It's even better. So where does Miro fit on this team in terms of offlane? I think he generally is versatile in that he will play a high damage offlaner. He will also play the aura route. I think when 9Pandas were doing really well at some of the past majors, he was playing more the aura style. Like even on the Doombringer, I think he was one of the Dooms that we looked at. And even when you have people like 33 going Octarine, Midas bots, he was still going early pipe, early Crimson Guard Doom. So I think Miro is happy to support his 1 and 2, which, I mean, if you're looking at the 1 and 2 on this team, that is where the bulk of the damage comes from.
Yeah.
They're going to fight for the Wisdom Rune here. Taiga should not be able to get this one.
He is,
He should
because
not be able to get this one.
He did not want to use the Doom on him. And
That's an expensive Doom not to use. You're gonna
now they're
going to
have to use it anyway. That is very annoying. My goodness. Yeah, okay, so I like that point about Miro because I agree with that. I feel like he's kind of a jack of all trades but master of none. His strong points don't necessarily stand out to me, but I don't feel like he's a weak player, you know?
No, not weak at all. I think sometimes, again, if this tournament, Kiyotaka is not having as standout of performances as he was in some of those other tournaments, then maybe more onus does fall to him to pick up that slack, but it's not necessarily what he has been told to do, right? Maybe he's been told to play more sacrificial, play for auras. Like even some of his Enigma games, right? This was one of the teams where Miro was doing the Helm of the Overlord Enigma before a lot of other players. That is a more, I'm going to open up the map for my other two cores build than I'm going to play greedy Midas BKB Enigma. This is how I tend to think of his role in the team, so it does push more pressure onto him, particularly in this game on the Doom, which is a very flexible offlaner in terms of how you play it, how you itemize it. He's top net worth here. What are you going to choose to do with this Doom? Are you going to go for the auras? Are you going to go for a greedier build when you have an Alk and a Wind Ranger?
Chemical Rage is up. Ramsey's going to be forced to use it here. The two-man rotation is coming from OG, and they're going to try and do this on the Chemical Raged up Alchemist, but they've already missed the Waning Rift. That's going to be a little bit of a lack of damage, but they still get it through anyway. The coil leading into the blast. Now Kiyotaka, he needs some help. He doesn't really have anybody close by. Solo's going to be here soon. Kiyotaka fighting for his life up against BZM with a high ground. Couple of misses there, allow BZM to stay healthy enough. They drop a ward trying to spot him. Kiyotaka managed to get rid of some of that magic damage thanks to Solo. Trying to burst him down with the Purifying Flames. Might just be able to get him. Shot not quite there from Kiyotaka, and Solo loses track of BZM, so not going to be able to get a return kill, but does manage to bail out Kiyotaka from a potential second death, and a good gank for OG.
Gotta keep in mind this Wind Ranger build a lot of times in the early game. You're maxing this wind run, so you're really playing off your ulti, but you're not going to have the shackles for the control. You're not going to have the high-level power shot to try and help secure these kills. It's going to hurt your skirmish power a little. I do feel like 9Pandas are getting dragged in these fights, but it's not that bad for them, honestly. I don't know if OG are getting what they want out of the pressure they're trying to exert on this Alchemist. Like, does Ramses care about this? He cares a little bit, right? Because he's not farming. It's just not doing anything to him directly, and he's still ahead of your Naga here. Even after all this, even after 3 deaths, this is kind of just what Alk does. Even your Roggy's up here now, trying to steal some camps. They will see this on the ward. This is a lot of early pressure dedicated from OG to try and shut down the Alchemist ramp.
There, funny enough, they both see each other, so Uragi's going to dip away into the trees, knowing that Ramses was trying to stop him. Meanwhile, DM putting the pressure on mid, responding with a focus fire, but too many heroes here. So Power Rune's going to be secured for BZM. OG making a great effort to secure that for the Puck, who needs to be able to have a good game like we talked about in this matchup. You got to have a lot of items to be able to threaten an Alchemist.
Especially with the heroes they have, I just don't see the single target physical burst coming out until way later on. Like maybe Bloodthorn Naga is a big power timing. If the Puck gets to 5 or 6 slots, okay, Puck is always one of those late game carries that 9Pandas don't have a direct answer to that easily.
Yeah.
You know, if you get Lincoln's Octarine Puck here, it's gonna be a menace, and they are giving him the Ancient, so that'll tell you everything you need to know about who's the carry this game. It's gonna be BZM. You are the man to do it in the late game. The Naga will push the waves, the Breaker can push the waves, maybe you get a pick off here or there. The bulk of the damage is gonna come down to Puck in this late game. And this game is probably gonna go late, because I don't see OG accelerating the objectives here. You know, this is a downside of the offlane Spirit Breaker. He's not buying early auras and he's not pushing the buildings. He's not giving you Roshan. He's giving you scale, he's giving you damage, he's giving you wave shove. You just have to make the other stuff up somewhere else.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Midas done for the Doom, so that network advantage should really start creeping 9Pandas' way. And if it doesn't, then it means OG is winning the game.
Absolutely. Unless they have insane stacks. We're going to see the Midas on the Naga too. Try and help bounce out that GPM coming from the Doom and the Alk.
Sure, might as well.
I mean, this is something we saw Arteezy do yesterday as well on the Naga. I don't know. I never feel like the Midas on the Naga ends up mattering that much, just because I don't know if this hero cares about the levels a lot compared to some of these other carries. I mean, they feel good, but they're not game-changing. Like, for example, I think the Fury on Midas, well, we're going to see a Earth Splitter. Is this enough damage?
And Miro doesn't want to use the Doom. He's finally going to drop it now, but slowed down as the Coddle's going to join in on this. They are just out-moving 9Pandas. Bringing heroes to these ganks. Every single time it feels like there's a 3-man squad here from OG, and 9Pandas always show up just a little bit late. Lacking in numbers as a result. Kiyotaka is going to go for the kill onto Seb, but immediately the sleep comes out, setting up an opportunity for a 2-man coil. Going to be able to grab them both. Great hit from PZM with DM joining in on this fight. Again, 9Pandas are trying to take an engagement that they are just outnumbered, and as such, will lose it pretty badly. Oh, PZM didn't hop to that one. Thought he would still go for the Antares kill. Opts not for it. Instead, going to go for solo, because he wants to make sure that there isn't going to be these saves coming out for the Oracle. BZM, DM, they're both going to focus on solo, bring him down before he can get that level 6. Meanwhile, Lasso underneath the tier 2 tower here. This is getting a little dicey for OG, as even the glyph going to be used to try and repel back these OG heroes. Ultimately, it's only the Elder Titan that dies, though.
He's happy to die there, gets the free mana refill. OG's just running a train here. 9Pandas getting caught out. I mean, where are the numbers? Why are you even going for these skirmishes, right? Your lineup is pretty slow and clunky.
Yep.
You need farm. You want to be hitting stacks. You want to be hitting creeps, defending your towers. And then when the fight comes to you, you even out the odds with an Alchemist teleport if you really want to take that engagement. This is just in no man's land. You're on OG's side of the map trying to bail out a Doom that already died, basically.
And again, going for this Coddle, but you can't kill him. There's no way you could go for that one play, Kiyotaka.
So
Even if there weren't heroes there, you still have the blinding light that's going to negate so much of the damage.
9Pandas' read of this game just feels completely off.
Yeah, it really does, and they're going to be losing more heroes for it. Rams are going to try and bail this one out. Oh, instantly gets bashed up. Does manage to get off his stun. Bailed out by the False Promise. He'll get healed a lot thanks to the Chemical Rage, but he doesn't really have the damage to get any of these kills. OG are just running circles around the 9Pandas heroes. They're going to focus on Ramses. That Chemical Rage isn't going to do enough for you. He's gonna get one kill before he falls.
Oh, that was close to getting turned. You get a couple more misses on that Radiance. That was his Radiance timing, by the way.
Okay, Kiyotaka came back into the fight and did manage to get DM as well, so.
That's a consolation prize here.
Yeah.
I mean, those are 2 fights where OG basically extracted 2K gold from each. That's just so damn much in this early game. And 9Pandas not respecting the skirmish power here between the ET, the Puck, and the Breaker. You have Chakra Magic on top of all of it here. Seb is not dying early on. I mean, you hit a 3-man concoction. That's about the only thing that salvages this fight. Otherwise, I think OG just completely run you over. And the early itemization here also paying off. You have a drum on the Breaker. These little things make a big difference in these early 4-on-4, 5-on-5s, which is what it's turning into at the 13-minute mark. This is not a fight Ramses wants to join with that Radiance and lose. He just doesn't get much out of it.
And it goes back to Kiyotaka. He started that fight getting picked off in the first place, allowing OG to have the numbers advantage and push for more. And they're going to jump in. They're just assaulting this triangle. They are not going to let Ramses get this comeback goal that he so desperately needs right now. He's going to be charged up, half health, right through all of the Ancients. And Doom's going to be put onto the Puck. If Ramses can live here, this is a good fight, but he's so close to getting bursted down. DM needs the bash. They're finally going to get it with the Coddle Blast out of the off, and a deny comes through. DM giving them absolutely nothing if he can help it. Kiyotaka did have a double damage rune, so at least he'll be able to get a bit of something off of that one. Gets the kill onto Seb, but it's only that one, and they lost the Ancients. Kiyotaka has to get more off of this one. Shackle shot, not gonna land, and the stomp, it's gonna hit Kiyotaka, giving an opportunity for them to be able to slip away into the night. Hops over the cliff, nicely played by Taiga, and DM, he's gonna charge up in 1 more second. Radabetos. Stomp, helping him out, and the charge away. He's good.
Right, man, Taiga has been lining these up beautifully in the fights. Even with double belt here, this is really telling you how fast OG want to play this game. You're just accelerating the HP pools, going into another drum. So much early tank ability and skirmish power. Even Midas Naga joining these fights. This is how you punish greed right here. You get in the enemy side of the map, you take the fight to them with numbers, and you steal the stacks. I think DM got 90% of that Ancient camp.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Through the double charges. Honestly, I would have Earth Splittered it. Power to Taiga for trying to hit a hero with that spell in the early game. Yeah, look at how active this Naga has been, man. That is crazy for a Midas Naga who pretty much got left solo safe lane. He has made his impact felt here. 1-0-4, highest net worth, joined all these fights, and the action just don't stop.
Now the pipe is complete for Miro, so he is not the easiest kill, or maybe he is. A lot of burst damage coming in. DM just needs a last little bit. Miro, he's getting out of the range of it, perhaps. DM, one final swing, he can't quite get it. Miro will survive. HP. The pipe is just enough.
All those little items adding up for him. This is the part in the game where you have to start being a little careful if you're OG, because you ran over this early game. You built a pretty decent lead. You gotta remember it's a Doom and an Alk lineup, so even though the net worth doesn't reflect it, you're still pulling ahead in the timings. The defensive fight from 9Pandas is going to be really nice with this Oracle, though. So you can't end up in a situation where you're going on the Doom, you're going on the Alchemist, and then these two big, beefy boys just get healed up by an Oracle, and suddenly you're overextended.
Yeah, especially with all the damage over time they have, Scorched Earth and Radiance.
It adds up. Like the Radiance burn, the Scorched Earth burn, like you said, a couple power shots here or there. The Firefly, actually, there's 3 burn spells in this game, quite literally, on top of an Acid Spray. It's going to tick you out. Especially since you don't have an early pipe here. You went some of the early drum builds, you have the Chakra Magic. This is where you want to take that early lead you built and solidify it into more map control, get your next set of items, and then take that 5-on-5. Do not overextend and throw this lead back right now. Keep playing around your puck as well. BCM is having a great game here and will continue to scale. And yeah, Breaker's just going to go second item Shadow Blade, so maybe transition this into more of a map-oriented style right now instead of the skirmishing. Start trying to pick some heroes off.
It also means their lane shove continues to be massive, right? I mean, with a Naga and a Spirit Breaker, you can play clumped up constantly because if you're OG, because you have all the lanes pushed in all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think OG are forced into the style that they've shown here for the first 15 minutes, as weird as that sounds. It worked for them. Now you can transition into something else and use the other strengths as Naga Spirit Breaker lineup. As long as you're confident in the puck helping you win some of these late game fights, you can make this game very awkward for 9Pandas. Maybe you just got caught off guard by the pace set here.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, if they got away with how many stacks they had in an early game where that laning phase was okay for OG, but they didn't get the punish on the Alchemist they wanted, like, look at the camp stack, right? If 9Pandas got away with that without what OG did, you're looking at a very different game here. Early blink for Ramses.
Pipe comes out, dodges a lot of that damage and slip away into the night. Helps DM.
We can already see how tanky this Alk is. He doesn't even have a real defensive item yet. It's just too much HP for OG to go through, especially with Oracle behind. This is the nice combo for 9Pandas this game.
Yeah.
Can always just throw that ulti onto the Ogre, and what are you going to do if you're OG? I don't think he will ever die in it this game. You don't have a Vessel buyer, you don't have any anti-healing, there's no real Scotty buyers in this game. You're just going to have to deal with it. And a fast Lotus for Miro as well, so he is going for this Aura Doom that I kind of expected from him. Very tanky, a lot of extra armor in this early game, and another Dispel for the Coddle Slows, the Naga Nets.
The heart is now done for the Naga. This is a very early heart that I don't think 9Pandas have the damage anymore to really contest too much.
Nope, that's the flip side here. Is as much as the Alchemist is hard for you to deal with, the Naga is not too easy for 9Pandas.
Man, they really want this kill, and I'm a bit surprised they got it. Maybe Blink Dagger was on cooldown.
That's a nice little pickup there. Transition into a tier 1.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They're using the tankiness right now. I think 9Pandas know that OG do not have the damage at this exact point in the game to contest these frontliners.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Do you feel like OG could take Roshan? Like if BZM, I thought they were rotating to take Rosh. If BZM didn't die there, then they'd be setting up for it.
That's what it kind of looked like. They're going through this gate. They're still all huddled around the bottom right of this map right now, kind of looking at this gate or looking at Rosh. It's where their vision control is at too. You look at the Radiant Wards right now. They basically got 3 of them on the gate and 1 around the tier 1 mid. This is almost a little too defensive for me, but I understand what they're trying to do with it. And if they can get a good core pickoff around this area, it's instantly going to transition into the objective.
They want to get the pickoff on Miro first, but he's already backed up enough that he's really not in much danger, especially how tanky he is.
9Pandas on 3 lanes right now. They're going to get a lot more out of this map while you're clumping for OG. So I think you either have to force the Rosh here or make an aggressive smoke play. Don't really have other options, and it looks like it'll be the Roshan.
It's pretty nice. 9Pandas, they don't really have a way to poke into the pit very well, no way to get vision into it, so I think OG feeling very confident. They pushed in that bottom lane with the illusions, and very unlikely that they're going to get snuck up on. As you can see, DM pushing out just to make sure there's no smoke gang coming or something. So a very easy Roshan for OG. Does give a lot of space to 9Pandas like you're talking about, but let's see what they make of their smoke here. 5-man smoke to get out of the pit area and out onto the map, and maybe even find a successful pick-off or two.
Quick little pause.
I'm almost surprised they didn't give that one to BZM.
The
Aegis.
Oh, yeah. That's a little surprising, too.
I feel like the Naga can't really die.
Yeah, but the thing is, all these puck players think they can't die.
That is true.
Like,
but he literally just got evidence directly handed to him.
But obviously, that's why we're pausing. You know, his keyboard was lagging. That's the only reason he died. Well, let's just say, if you're a puck player on a top-tier Dota team and you take Aegis, it's embarrassing. It's honestly embarrassing, right? Why are you even playing puck?
You're kind of saying, guys, I'm not good enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you should have picked up hero that can die then.
Puck can't die.
All I'm saying is, if you pick Puck and you consider yourself the best mid in the world, which is basically every mid at this tournament,
sure,
you should have 0 deaths.
And to be clear, not every mid in this tournament is the best mid, but they all think they're the best mid.
Yeah, of course. You know, everybody thinks they're above the average.
Blink for the Doom.
Dire's top tower is under
So a bit more initiation after Antari's picked up his Blink Dagger for the lasso that we're seeing here. Successfully pick off Taiga and make the song get wasted.
Can 9Pandas get the punish here? They're looking for the catch.
Managed to get out the mirror image. Oh, nice stomp. And they managed to get the shackle to follow that one up. The damage is a little bit lacking, though. And Uragi's realizing that. He's like, man, I can turn around and beat these guys down because they really just cannot put enough damage onto me. They do have a nice Fate's Edict. That's going to dodge a lot of it. Solo playing back here. Meanwhile, Ramsey's looking for the stun and goes back to the Naga Siren. And now that's where the damage comes in.
What's going to bail him out?
First life, though.
You have a coil. That's it.
Not much. Yeah, they're going to use the Doom immediately onto the Naga Siren with the Shackle Shot, latching him in. They're going to deal with DM and BZM on the side, but they have to keep their focus on that carry. Can't let him get away while the Doom is ticking out. They're going to commit and get this kill rather easily. Good hit, though, from, once again, our Elder Titan coming in. Taiga trying to do what he can, but OG just a little bit too far forward there. Uragi using the song like that.
Those are
unable
those types
to save his support.
Overextensions that 9Pandas are going to punish very hard here because you end up in a situation where you can't get on the backline. At the end of that fight, we see BZM try and jump the backline, control the Oracle. It's not enough burst to kill Solo here, and once that occurs, you are absolutely screwed in this fight. Of course, getting Elder Titan at the start and wasting a sleep, very nice here for 9Pandas because those are your 2 disengage spells. So there's just nothing to bail out the damage pumping in. I don't know if this is the damage you're looking for. This is a tickle if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, seriously.
Still, this game is becoming a lot about the backline for 9Pandas, and can you deal with it on OG? And another quick pick off for Kiyotaka as he's starting to raise his KDA average at this tournament.
Yeah, he's picking it up a little bit. This is a quiet game for him so far, but back-to-back good pickoffs on Taiga.
That's one way to inject some gold, inject some morale. And man, look at the net worth that 9Pandas have gotten out of the last 5 or 6 minutes here, especially on the Bat Rider. Where did he get it all? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, he's...
I guess stealing enemy camps is one way to do it. He's ahead of the puck.
This is always kind of the problem of Puck, right? I feel like it's very hard for Puck to keep that net worth up. You get it at the start, you know, they gave him the stacks and stuff like that, but you have to be so successful at just kill after kill after kill.
I feel like he was having a pretty decent game. I guess he should have taken that Aegis.
You know what? It was a pickoff before Roshan. Because it delayed their Roshan taking, which 9Pandas got a lot of net worth out of the map, waiting, you know, during that period of time. And obviously, he lost a lot, dying himself.
They can still fight around the Naga, and they can still split push this game out. That is the one thing OG will always have going for them. Between the Puck, the Breaker, and the Naga, even have a Coddle. I mean, you have the ability to always stall this game. As long as you have an idea of how you can win it later. In theory, it's not the worst position to be in. I just don't know if Alchemist is the hero you want to do that against. Like, there's a lot of hidden scale here, right? You can start throwing Ag Scepters around. You can give an Ags to the Oracle, and then the Oracle can return it back onto you.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
Is a
Make
pretty
your
brutal
crazy
combo.
BAT time.
I mean, that thing's spell amps, too. Throw it on, like, a random Wind Ranger or Bat Rider. It's actually a lot of extra damage.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how deep this game goes, how big Ramses gets. I don't know if 9Pandas are going to want the game to even go that long. I think they're just going to hit a crazy peak here with whatever damage item Ramses wants to go, which looks like it's just going to be a straight-up Mjolnir. This is an item on Alk I've actually wondered where it went, because it used to be a very old-school Alchemist build. I go back to, like, TI4. I know that's a really long time ago, but TI3, TI4, I remember Loda used to... He was like one of the first Alchemist players I saw that would go just Abyssal Mjolnir. It had some pretty crazy games on it in those tournaments. I think it's a build that has always been good on this hero because you get the lower BAT in the Chemical Rage, and you just go absolutely ham.
And the active is a lot more useful on a hero that's that tanky.
Exactly. So I'm kind of cool. It's cool to see Ramses pull this back. I think it's a good build this game. I mean, one, you have the extra value versus the Naga, right? He probably wants some extra lane shoves, some extra lightning in the fight. The charge is good here. Still, I think Mjolnir Abyssal is also one of those builds that can punish the puck if you ever land a clutch stun.
DM gets caught. Tried to go. Ooh, nice stomp in response there from Taiga, but it looks like DM may not be able to make it out. BKB from Ramses jumps into the song, hits Yuragi up there on the high ground. So Yuragi is going to be within striking distance potentially. 9Pandas. Can they catch up?
So damn fast.
Yeah, he is.
Even getting solar crested out of here. The disengage from OG is going to be pretty solid this game. It's something 9Pandas are going to have to think about. They're obviously very aware of when to pop the BKBs and commit. Might even be something that prompts Kiyotaka for his own BKB here. Not a third item I think you'd normally get after this Ags Rush on the Wind Ranger because you basically already feel invincible. Something he might end up going back for just so you can go up through the sleep and stick on the Naga, right?
Sure, if you focus fire, the worst feeling is a stun like that, being able to stop you and resetting the fight.
So it's something that 9Pandas might want to itemize here for as, I mean, this game is in their control. It's about how do you try and close it out right now. Is OG continuing to search for answers in these fights?
BZM gonna be hit by the shackle.
Ooh,
he is dead. Great pickup for Kiyotaka. Really picking it up now. Jeez. He went from getting pickoffs on Taiga and landing some 6 shackle shots to now just getting a solo kill on BZM like that. What a difference.
Picking up the KDA just as I called them out. It calls them up, right? I mean, you'd rather have your mid player performing well on the main stage than in those play-ins, for sure. Unless you get eliminated in the play-ins.
9Pandas did well enough against their matchup of Virtus Pro, a team they know very well.
Mjolnir done. It's his time to go. Huge amount of damage coming out from Ramses right now. He's his own individual threat, too. When he goes in with that stun PKB, there's not much answer for it on OG unless you can hit him with a charge.
Do you think he goes, like I haven't seen Abyssal played in quite a bit for Alchemist.
I would like it here.
I think I would like it too, right? Like you want the chain stuns against this block. BKB gonna be used by Antares. Kiyotaka has his Aghanim Scepter, so it's pretty hard for them to be able to counter him. They can manage to get the pullback here on the Coddle. TF, what a hit it! What a charge hit, leads up the coil. The Earth Splitter's coming in too. Hits the Wind Ranger, that's all. Ramses does not get hit by that, he stays alive.
That Delta split, damn nice here from 9Pandas. They got 4-man slept, but they all got woken up by some of the AoE damage there. A little unfortunate from OG. They really need big Earth Splitters. It kind of feels like they're lacking damage in these fights.
Yeah, they're lacking that last bit of pop to get the numbers advantage.
And honestly, this is one of those anti-Elder Titan matchups with the Oracle that I think teams are going to have to think about, because we're seeing a lot more ET this event already. It's becoming one of these heroes that even some of the non-Chinese teams are prioritizing higher and higher. Oracle just demolishes this hero. At every point in the game. You kill him on the lane, you purge his buff. Another solo pick-off here. Whew. Oh, Kiyotaka has had BZM's number, and he's putting it on speed dial, man.
Ever since he's gotten that Aghanim Scepter, that invisibility is allowing him to sneak up on the puck. Something that, you know, is kind of an interesting aspect of this matchup.
It really is, actually. It just sounds amazingly simple, right?
Yep.
Very hard to dodge that shackle out of the invis. I mean, of course, we don't really see the fact he's invis, but I can assure you BZM sees the fact he's invis here.
Well, he doesn't see that fact, but yes. 30-minute power rune coming up. What's it gonna be? I feel like you get a BKB on Kiyotaka. You get this next. I was saying Abyssal Blade looks like he's going to go MKB.
Oh, no, he went Basher first.
Oh, he went Basher first. Okay.
Yeah, I think you do want to end up with Abyssal in this game. I think BZM's life is just going to be impossible, right? Between the Invis Wind Ranger who can shackle a Glaive near you, going to have BKB to bypass the sleeps. Then you're going to have this Alk who can just insta-jump Abyssal you, and you're probably dead off that. There's no real save because of the lack of BKB interaction here for OG, unless DM saves the charge.
Yeah, I was going to say, does or DM also shard? You know, maybe that's a pickup that
Planar
could help.
pocket could be a factor. Yeah, I mean, it is a good planar pocket game. You have Doom, you have Lasso.
Yeah, a lot of single
stuns.
target, big spells.
There's almost too much, though. I wonder if it's going to just be overwhelming. And of course, I think the biggest problem for OG right now is where's the damage coming from? You look at the net worth on these 9Pandas cores.
Is that enough?
It's all effective right now. They are very tanky. They have an Oracle behind them. It's got to be Yuraki just right-clicking people down with this Butterfly Scotty. This is a very pivotal moment for OG. They can somehow win this fight and get a Roche. They're back in this game.
The smoke is going to break. What is Miro going to do? Is he going to be blind blinking up there? He's going to wait for Kiyotaka to get the information.
This is Arcane Rune Wind Ranger.
He
You
is
definitely let him
sneaking
scout.
around. He's going to get a lot of smoke breaks. Seb, he knows he's on the right-hand side here, but the jump in from Miro always goes in. He already hits the stun. Lasso pulls back DM, but not for a moment.
Oh, that stomp.
It gets taken out
Got
really
a couple
quickly.
of
An
them.
Earth Splitter that's going to land on it too. He should even hit Solo in the back lines there. Solo ready to go with the save. Ramses might need it here. Still has the False Promise ready to go. Well, Kiyotaka is a big threat. There goes the False Promise. That's going to bail out Ramses. And now the Naga Siren is in a fight. He cannot
shackle
possibly
too.
hope to win. Jump down on the Seb because he knows the Naga Siren is already dead, leaving Taiga for last. DM bought back for that fight too. Couldn't even get there in time for a second life with the charge. The fight was over too damn quick.
And they lose a gem off that, and they're going to lose their wards, and they're going to lose Roshan. Just no answer for this Alchemist in the Doom jump. I like that Miro goes there. Even if he dies in that fight, you're probably going to win it. But the fact that he attracts so much attention, Shiva definitely helps you make this move as well, right? Way too tanky, get bursted here. And if you're Rocky, like you see his main hero off to the side, if he's not hitting people, OG are not killing anybody. You land a great stomp, you land a great Earth Splitter, Solo's in the back. He's just healing everybody up, while Kiyotaka with an Arcane Rune is shackling multiple cores and slaying you on the back end.
Yeah, there was actually so many things about that initiation that went wrong for 9Pandas, and the fight was still clean.
It didn't matter.
Yeah. Which, what happened to Roche?
Is under attack.
What do you mean he's chilling?
Well, what happened to 9Pandas killing Roshan? He shouldn't be chilling. All right, Ramses comes back. Time to do it, I suppose.
If we must, fine. Who are you gonna give Aegis to? I guess you give it to Ramses, you can go Siege.
I think
Never mind.
Kiyotaka. Yeah.
All right, Kiyotaka, you can go Siege. And he did end up with this full Mjolnir Abyssal, so this is kind of the exact build that I thought he was gonna go for this game. It's pretty cool to see. Not a build that's very common nowadays, but as we've talked about, very effective in this game. Also very nice that he can itemize maybe more aggressively with the early Mjolnir because he has the Oracle behind him.
Are you pointing out how smart you are or how
No, I'm
smart
just-
Ramses is?
Giving Loda a shout out, you know?
Yeah. Keep one to the living legend. Charge. Flame break, a little bit too late there to stop it. How
does he still land?
Kiyotaka
What?
just still landing these shackle shots. Fortunately, BZM will live this time. Iragi almost needing to use the song.
They need Nullifier. They need Nullifier really bad on OG right now. So at least you can sleep this Wind Ranger into a Nullified net and shut him down control-wise. Like this, Coddleags is not done it for me this game.
No, it hasn't. I honestly didn't even think about it.
I don't think it's done much in any of the fights.
Yeah, I've seen it like once or twice. I just kind of ignored it in the fight because it wasn't really doing anything.
And it's one of these items you go on Coddle when you feel like you need team fight and you don't really know what else you can buy to give it to you in this time frame. Right? I feel like Seb probably thought they have to win a fight soon. He bought it. It didn't end up paying off, and now it's kind of a lackluster net worth investment.
Sure.
That's a hard call. He could have bought a Nullifier or Hex this game. It wasn't out of the question. It's just it maybe would have taken longer. You're not as tanky.
Yeah, I feel like Hex is the natural go-to, but
He'll get found again. Just not much room to operate on this map. They're even going to clip him for good measure. Let him burn on top. Throw down an orb. I mean, that's worth 100 gold. I don't know if you wanted to do that.
yeah, but it stalls 2 heroes' time for 3 seconds.
Actually, yeah, I don't know if you wanted to go the Ags on Coddle this game. You might just be feeding him some extra gold. Greevil's Greed on top of it. Do you get Greevil's Greed gold off killing an Illuminate orb?
Oh, Miro almost caught him. Lincoln's. Okay, that's something. BZM no longer has to worry about a shackle shot. That is until Kiyotaka gets some sort of single target item to be able to proc that and then land the shackle shot.
Yeah, I still have to worry about this guy right here, though. with Blink BKB Nullifier on a Bat Rider, who's higher net worth than him.
That is pretty bad. Yeah, a full-out Nullifier. That's crazy.
Kiyotaka will find the split pushing Spirit Breaker and put him in the ground.
Do you think the Spirit Breaker has been good? Are you still, like, are you fine with Spirit Breaker core? Because he's hit some big charges. I'm just not sure if his impact has actually been that big.
You mean conceptually with the hero or in this game?
I mean, either. Both.
A little sleep on orb action. I think the hero's fine. I think he did work this game.
Okay.
I think OG just ran out of momentum. And looking back, I thought it would be okay if they kind of split push the map a bit more, if they could find the pickoffs, but they didn't. And at that point, you're just not trading. You're just going to get out GPM'd here.
Lincoln's breaking the attempted Blink Abyssal there from Ramses.
He's a strength Blink. Oh my god, he's so beefy.
Yeah.
The thing is, the downside of this build is you don't really have armor because you don't go the AC. What is threatening him with physical damage? Nothing. So there's no downsides here for Ramses.
Sorry, he's popping the BKB. I mean, any pickoff, if you can get it, it's worth it at this point in time because, I mean, OG can't really fight you as is, but a 4 versus 5, a 3 versus 5, that's impossible.
Yeah, this is one of those pushes where you come up with a plan and then you realize there is no plan.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
The plan is to keep the creep wave out of your base.
Still Mage is here for a minute.
Give up the lane, I think. But we'll see. I mean, OG are sticking around. They're not pushing in the other lanes. DM could like farm mid or top right now, but OG are still trying to figure out a way to defend this. Stomp lands, goes for Kiyotaka. He's got the Aegis, of course. DM just feinting a little bit, seeing if he can get 9Pandas to respond. And there it is. BZM jumping and looking for Solo, very likely. As he's a very important target, but Solo has been playing very far back.
Does not have to be there instantly on the jump because the burst is not there for OG, so he can position really deep in. It's causing OG problems. Haven't really been able to scout him with Naga illusions either. Just too much AoE from 9Pandas protecting their Oracle. Even like we saw in that top fight, they doomed the Naga and all ran back to protect the Oracle.
Yep.
That's just good heads-up play. You keep this Oracle alive, you're going to win the fight. And a Hex done for Kiyotaka. Well, there goes your Lincoln's advantage.
Yep.
A lot more damage for the Universal Wind Ranger here as well. He'll even get a free regen boost. Still got a branch in his backpack. Look at that. You're going to tell me he's going to use this branch again?
Yeah. He's going to go back for a magic wand.
Okay, if he actually ends up using his branch because he plants it and shackles somebody to the tree.
Oh, now that would be a sick play.
I'll give you my salary.
All right. Let's go Kiyotaka, who also now just got a shard, thanks to the Tormentor.
Yeah, almost level 25 as well.
I like how this game is going so well for him. Like, once we reach about like 20, 25 minutes, I keep seeing him queue up BKB. And then he'll win some sort of fight. Things are going amazing. He's like, not yet. I don't need that BKB quite yet. We'll get a Blink Dagger. Now we're going to Sight the Vice. See if he actually commits to that BKB now.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
This is 39 minutes in, and we're really just looking for the death blow from 9Pandas.
That's what it feels like. I mean, you have Naga net worth here. I just don't know if he can enter the fight. He does have the Nullifier, so this is a big piece of the puzzle here. If you can get the lockdown on Kiyotaka, you land a net, you land a Nullifier, he will get bursted until Oracle saves him, and then maybe you can kill him anyway. If that happens, though, let's say Kiyotaka plays hyper-aggressive, you get that pick off, it can swing a lot of momentum in this game. It can open up the fight. Maybe you get some chase down kills, and Hex on top of it. All right, this Naga net worth has finally translated into some extra control that OG needed. Those are two very big control items.
My problem with this is that it's a lot of focus on Kiyotaka, which they definitely need. But, for example, like the Bloodthorn build would have helped you a lot for being able to burst down the Alchemist, right? Then you wouldn't have had so many damage problems. So
it's pick your poison here, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Which just kind of says there is a fundamental draft problem in that, right?
Well, I mean, not always. Just means maybe a momentum died. They might find that pickoff here. He's alone.
Yeah, this Solo. Great pickup.
Solo. Help me. That's a gem, too.
When you said Solo, I thought he meant he was solo.
No,
as
like Solo.
Nobody else was
Where's
around.
my Oracle? That's what these mid players always say. You like die in the corner of the map.
Guys, why aren't you playing
Where was my
behind?
save? Yeah, where was my save? I was like, brother, I'm 32, man. What do you want me to do? I'm too old. I can't get across the map.
What? Where are you?
I mean, I always blame the mids. But okay, what I was going to say is another big timing for OG there was they lost that gem in the earlier fight, so they had to wait that huge cooldown to get another one.
Yeah.
Which was why this Wind Ranger was so annoying. So that gem also enabled them to get that kill. They got the other gem back from Kiyotaka. So now they have 2 chances to keep that item up on the map, especially on this Linken's puck, and try and gain some momentum. That's a big kill. That's the one they're looking for. Some time to de-ward, gain some map control, force 9Pandas into a defensive position. Still got a cheese to worry about. You still got a lot of net worth here. The Ags is starting to come out for Ramses as well. You can feed that to a Bat. You can feed it to a Doom.
Yeah, they got Doom on their
team.
An Oracle. I say feed it to the Doom first.
Yeah, these are some good Ags upgrades. I would not be surprised to just see triple Ags here out from Ramses in the next 5 minutes.
Though, you know, I do like that BAT idea on the Alchemist.
Oh yeah, the Oracle Ags is good this game.
Yeah. It's just, I think the problem is you just saw Kiyotaka die. So now Solo might be thinking, okay, I might have to use False Promise on Kiyotaka. They're going to target him.
The thing about this Oracle Ags is even when you use it on a hero like Wind Ranger, the spell amp is still effective.
Yeah.
Like you're always going to get value out of this basically, you know.
25% bonus spell damage and 0.25 reduced base attack.
It's almost never bad. Now, I'm not sure this is a game where you'd buy it on the Oracle, right? But when you get it for free,
sure, yeah.
You're not going to turn it down, you know.
Shiva's smoke push out. And Tari's, he's going to be one to break on. Got a charge on him.
That's very clutch.
BZM trying to go for the sides, but immediately going to be saved by the Feed's Edict. He's not going to take as much damage as they would hope.
Ramsey's
In fact, he takes hardly nothing at all. Meanwhile, Kiyotaka catches DM. Shackle shot and bursted down. Immediate buyback from him. Yuragi going to be targeted here. Use the Doom on him, sure. Absolutely. Just take him out of this fight. The heals are not going to do enough.
Oh, he's gone.
And the DM, he's not going to be here in time to be able to bail out that carry. Now with their Naga Siren, there is no hope for OG to be able to win this fight any longer. Ooh, that
Where was the
Linken's
bash?
barely saves him and a bit of RNG to go with it.
I can't. I actually thought he was going to get bashed, dude. I felt it in my heart. It was coming. The second you get Doom on the Naga there, he's just stuck in what looked like a weird Gale. I mean, I think it was, it was the Gale Force. Very annoying for
Yeah,
Yuragi.
he was getting pushed around and stuff on Tari's.
Yeah, and then Ramsey just sits there and wails on him. I do like the fact that Ramsey's farmed that creep wave before entering that fight. Very efficient. Very nice Alchemist.
Did he really?
He's just hitting creeps and then blinks on DM. That's such an Alchemist move right there. This game just got out of control for OG.
Radiant structures are fortified.
No damage in the tank right now. Still searching for answers. They had a little bit of control there to start the fight. It just doesn't matter. The whole time, BZM's trying to kill Solo. Don't even get him in the end.
Aghanim Scepter, Elder Titan.
That's some damage, in theory.
In
Pretty low armor
theory.
here. Like, you don't have bonus armor on this Alk.
Yeah, but is the Elder Titan going to do enough to threaten him? Two-man coil. They caught Solo, a perfect target to kill at the start.
There's
Lightning
some
on a bunch of
business.
heroes. Immediate sight device, nullifier, net. All of these things being thrown at Kiyotaka. They have a chance to kill him with another
this is
soft
huge.
landing. G8 a cheese. Kiyotaka back out to half health, but here comes the splitter. Bam! Takes him down. Kiyotaka dies a second time in the last 5, and 9Pandas will lose just a little bit of control of the game they were just about to close out.
That's a 2K gold kill right there. That's another 90 seconds on the map with no annoying Wind Ranger. And more importantly, it's a fight that finally looked cohesive for OG, right? You get the coil on the Oracle. Solo does not get his ult off here. It's pretty hard to read that situation, and then Taiga just gives him the business with the case. Finally, some damage coming through. He just rushed Ags. I mean, that's one way to pick up some slack. And then the nullifier connection on the Wind Ranger. These are all the pieces you're looking for. A nice cheese pass almost salvages this.
Yeah, it was pretty sick. Doom was also on cooldown for like 5 seconds at the start of that fight.
But hey, OG hit that window, and now they're getting an Ags Roshan off of that.
Yeah, great stuff.
That's another Scepter to go into somebody's pocket here. Is it probably the Spear Breaker? The Naga. I think he's holding it.
Pass it off to somebody,
I think it's got to go Breaker or Puck. Even just for the extra stats on one of these two cores to give him the net worth, you are going to lose a cheese here. How does this always happen, man? I don't get it.
It's because supports just assume that cores are going to take everything, but then their backpacks are full because they have like branches and shit.
Yeah.
An empty bottle still
That's why
sitting
you
there.
Get this trash out of your backpack so you can pick up a damn cheese. This item's still good. Okay, let's say all your cores don't want it because they have better slots. I'll take that on a 5, man. You don't think Taiga would like a cheese this game? He doesn't have slots.
He can make a block of cheese.
He literally has empty slots.
It's a actually have
Which is
empty
okay, that's
slots
also
at 45
why
minutes.
does he have an empty slot? That's where you should have a branch. I mean, somewhere
That's true.
AUI is crying right now. Okay,
DM's trying to build an Aghanim Scepter, but
he really just hated on the Naga. That's, I mean, it is
actually
BKB
ate
control.
it.
Like the BKB control is really nice. I do think
Okay.
he won a Naga Ags at some point in this game because being able to net the Alk during BKB or something.
Yeah, you know what else is BKB
Super.
control? Aghanim Scepter on Spirit Breaker.
I kind of agree. Yeah. I feel like we'll see. We'll see how it pays
And it's
off.
not, the Naga Siren is gonna get more farm to buy your own Aghanim Scepter.
That would also be my argument. Yes, it's just going to cap the Naga even faster, right?
Yeah.
HP and stats are nice. This is a nice angle.
Weird position. Uragi, he's going to spot sight. Immediately onto the Bat Rider. See if they can kill him before the BKB. No, they can't. The song goes out. Lasso during the BKB timer. That's going to pull the Naga Siren out of position. The song can only last so long. Uragi.
Look at the stomp.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
The
stomp.
setup.
And the charge on top of the coil. The Doom in
Invincible.
response. Miro trying to save this one. The heroes are not quite dead. They have the Nullifier on the Spirit Bringer. They're chasing him down while Ramsey goes for Taiga. They're going to finish him off. Uragi trying to do what he can, but he's being caught by the Gale Force. Pulled back in during the site. Now hit by the Unstable Concoction. Nullified up. He's got nobody to help him out. There's no more buybacks on the side of OG. Uragi's going to learn his first life, and BZM is chased away, so he can't even come back in to bail out his carry.
Oh, it looks so damn good. I mean, you're not going to get a better fight setup than that from OG, and you just get nothing out of it because you cannot catch solo on the back line.
And BZM didn't even make it out, by the way. I'm not sure what happened to him, but he died during his TP.
He got found TPing out. A brutal ending to that fight. Miro cleans him up. Man, Ramses just sits there and nobody's man-fighting this Alchemist, man.
Yeah.
He's just shredding everybody. He's got Penta-Edge Sword on top of all. He's pulled 2 Ags, by the way, by now. So he's getting extra tank ability from that.
Yep, Spell Amp, damage.
This is just a disgusting amount of EHP that OG have to cut through, and they don't have the heroes built for it at this point.
Yeah, the that neutral item, by the way, that's kind of interesting because it's going to work well with his new passive, right? Which increases the...
Yeah, you can't move.
Yeah.
You just get perma main.
Yeah.
Who did he end up pulling the second Ags to, by the way? Did it go to...
So Doom has an Ags that is not in his inventory, right? So that might have been one of them. Kiyotaka, Miro, looks like.
I guess it was the
So they
one.
sold, yeah.
I guess, oh yeah,
they got
Miro,
the gold back.
Yeah, Kiyotaka sold his. Interesting. Wow, they gave it to him over the Bat Rider. I feel like
Well, I mean, he
Bat
gets the
Ag's
gold
not there.
back for it, right, in that situation.
Yeah, but
so
come on, he's rich enough. Share the wealth, you know what I'm saying? Ambitious Shackle, considering there was
BKB going to be used. Seb is going to die.
Mini stuns enough, and that is a dieback for him. He's out for 7 minutes, for 100 seconds here.
I mean, I like that jump from Kiyotaka because there was just 2 heroes about to come back. Now they're still at a numbers disadvantage. Just keep OG from being able to formulate a full 5-man response to this final push that comes in.
Yeah, they're waiting for Alcohol here, and he will go in and clean up the Megas. Still have this ET Ags, maybe he can get some punches in. I think Antares is going to get the jump first,
Yeah,
however.
he is going to get the pick off. Miro tried to jump in with the Doom, didn't actually find anything, and the song from behind actually saves
Where the hell did
everybody.
Uragi come from?
He somehow looped around the back. Now, maybe that isn't the best place to be because
Yeah,
Ramses
he's a
now
little
gets a
deep.
1v1, a 2v1 against him, and he is just shredding this Naga Siren. He is chopping up some sushi right now, and OG are going to call it for this game 1.
Nah, this game, it's probably been over for a while. Valiant effort to try and pull it back. They had some clutch team fights, pickoffs on the Wind Ranger into the Roshan that was not theirs to get. They're just way too far behind after that mid-game. It just came out of nowhere, man. It felt like they were steamrolling the first 10 minutes. They hit a roadblock, and that roadblock was some good old Greevil's Greed and Devour. The second you lose one team fight.
Remember the start of this patch where it was just like out-economy them by thinking Doom?
What 9Pandas were playing at
And then-
Berlin.
yep, exactly.
This was their go-to, the Doom Alk. So they're pulling out a strat that they're very comfortable with, very confident on, putting some good support heroes behind it in the Bat Rider and the Oracle that can win the lanes and give them the help they need. And then Kiyotaka, finally, he's starting to pop off again. A really nice performance from him. He found BZM, what was it, like 3 solo kills on him in that like 15 to 25 minute mark that were just, that's just your game, right? Your game evaporates from that point because you need to puck the scale. You need his damage. As we saw in these later fights, you're hitting the stomps, you're hitting the sleeps, you're hitting the earth splitters, and they're all half HP.
Yep.
And then they all heal. and then you
have
feel
nothing
bad.
left in the tank. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you wonder what went wrong, which is, I think, what they're discussing right now.
Yeah, they just, you know, needed to be able to keep that momentum going, but ultimately Kiyotaka, who had, I mean, admittedly, he had a slow start, though. I mean, he did. Like, remember that, like, he started off some really bad fights for them and stuff.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes was not great for 9Pandas. I think OG were pretty happy being up, you know, 3 or 4K at a certain point, especially versus the extra GPM heroes. Just what does that translate into? Something went wrong. Either the read of the game slowing it down, which was also my read. I thought it was going to be a bit better for them in terms of getting pickoffs on the map. Maybe something about that was off, or they shouldn't have let their foot off the gas at all. And then when, you know, Seb might not be happy about that, but if you go into game 2, you got to adjust for one of those two things, ramp it up, and either continue the pressure or draft in a way where it's not entirely dependent on you keeping that tempo for the whole game.
Well, it shows OG have a chance to be able to still bring the series back into a 1-1 potential, but it's just a question of how to do that. We'll bring that question, of course, to our lovely panel.
Thank you very much, Cap and SPG. Yeah, we're going to break down this game and, of course, see how OG potentially can make a comeback in this 2-game series they have against 9Pandas. Because what our commentators say is completely correct, of course. We did see 9Pandas have a slower start, which we'll focus on in a little bit. But let's first talk about how they ended it, because we saw the draft and we did see that 9Pandas had the upper hand here coming into this. They ended, though, Faith Beyond, incredibly strong with a massive lead.
I think we can saw it in late game. They just so much damage and they just so easy to win every team fight. And I think they are just dropped better.
Yeah, and they had so many defensive capabilities too with their Oracle, right? He had the whole Pavis Glimmer, Doom even bought some Shivas, Pipe. Like, there was a lot going on where if OG were taking these fights and they couldn't burst the one target, they would just turn the fight instantly on 9Pandas and they would have thrown everything and got nothing out of it on the side of OG.
Yeah.
Yeah, Purge, I mean, at the end we did have, well, the start rather, Kiyotaka wasn't doing too well, but Kiyotaka on his Wind Ranger, and we do see why he's just really good on that.
Yeah, he's a very good player. Definitely fantastic on almost every hero he plays. His early and mid game was a little bit weaker, but I think that was more just because OG was playing well than the vice versa. He wasn't as successful in his rotations, whereas OG kind of got everything they wanted.
They did get everything they wanted at the very start. 9Pandas ended very strong, but where we want to start off really breaking this series down, really breaking this first game down, is at the start of this series, because that's where OG should have shined. And Purge, they did very much shine.
They did, yeah. Basically, it came down to the Coddle pick. It looked a little weird in the draft, and we were unsure about whether or not it would be effective enough with the heroes they had, because they didn't have like the normal Coddle plus Storm type thing. They did Coddle Puck instead, which is actually pretty good. I have some clips for you guys if you want to see them.
I would love to see them.
Yeah? Okay, cool. I have this cool iPad. It's very nice. Beautiful, it's working. I'm gonna press the old play button. So 3 minutes in, jumps through the twin gate to come gank the Alchemist. And they did it in a cool way. He zones the Oracle on the right, does a charge in, you know, they commit the 15,000 blood grenades to guarantee the kill because it's free skill points. That's their first kill. Very effective. Second time, 5 minutes in, draws to the right, Ramsey's kind of low. They're like, okay, we're gonna kill him, right? Nope, he's charging his stun. They're like, get the hell out of there, let him take the damage. Then they nuke him afterwards. Then they actually go in. So great pressure on Ramsey's here 5 minutes into the game. Taiga on the other side does die slightly before Ramsey's, but still so worth it for them. And now 5 minutes in, you know, Seb's naturally double stacking because you got to get all those stacks. You're playing Coddle. Very important. Giving mana to BZM. They end up killing the Bat Rider for the rune. DM even comes for this too. Gives up his lane temporarily, which was excellent. And then BZM's clearing neutral stacks with just treads and a bottle and his raindrop. So the Coddle's really fueling BZM's acceleration in a big way. Look at this cool thing they did. They're blasting waves. BZM gets all the last hits with his orb, and they immediately check runes because he's like, I got to get these kills, push out the wave, and also get ganked, so it gets more mana. This is where DM's already slapping the Alchemist a little bit, anticipating this gank, knowing things are going to happen. And Ramsey's like, okay, the gank's coming, I know it's coming. And look at this, Puck uses both of his spells just to get there, but with Chakra Magic, he gets another nuke, so it gets him across the map within like 20 seconds to prep for this gank. There's a little bit more skirmishing there, but not super. Oh, 1 second. And then they finally go do the ancient clearing. DM comes through. He's doing the homie thing. He's going to charge and he's going to leave. He's like, I don't need this experience. I don't need this gold. We're just trying to get BZM as far ahead as possible. So they eventually clear all these ancients, giving them a ton of gold. And if we just jump forward and pause here, do a little zoom, take a look at this net worth. Puck is equal with an Alchemist and a Midas Doom, just about. It's really, really incredible. And then after that, using all this net worth, BZM's like, all right, I'm farming aggressively. I don't want to let Alchemist get any of this farm. I'm just going to do annoying stuff like stealing his creeps as well. So they basically got Puck super far ahead, used all this net worth to pressure the map. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, but I thought the Coddle actually did work out pretty good. So I was happy with it.
Yeah, the start of the game, it looked very strong. It's actually quite interesting because we also have an STC play that ties in incredibly nice to everything Purge just told you. Afi, we chose this this STC play because this is the reason why the game lasted as long as it did.
Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of choking going on down here actually by 9Pandas because they just fed too much here when they didn't have to be here. But I'm gonna let Faithian talk about this because he's the one who picked this play out. So can you tell us what you were saying in the green room?
I think during this, I think it lasted for like 4 or 5 minutes. They just keep fighting at bottom. And yeah, for 9Panda, they shouldn't be here, but also it's what OG plays good. They using their early stage advantage, as Purge said before, and they keep force fighting here, and they keep fighting and fighting, and in the next 2 minutes, they force Alchemist to here and they kill Alchemist. I think this is a way that they want to win this game. If they can keep doing it, keep doing this, maybe they can. They have a chance to win this game. But eventually, I think their draft is just not so solid as 9Pandas. So I think they already did good at early stage, but it's not enough.
Yeah, I agree entirely, actually, because when you look at OG's draft versus 9Pandas, you're looking at it and you're saying, okay, what timing are OG playing for? Do they have a clear timing? Like, is at any point Naga going to be able to overwhelm any of their heroes? And the answer is no, because Naga is a late game type of hero usually. So, okay, their timing is let's let our Naga farm, but if you're letting your Naga farm, then you're trading farm with a Doom and an Alchemist in an already unfavorable matchup for the Naga versus the Alchemist. So the only way for OG to win that game from where we were standing or from what we saw is to just constantly take these mini skirmishes over and over again. But the second the skirmishes start to go the way of 9Pandas, OG's game plan falls apart because there really is no timing at any point. We're like, okay guys, Naga gets her, heart and then we're good. Naga gets this and then we're good. Spearbreaker gets this, then we can fight. There was no clear timing at all.
I guess it was the Hex. Usually it's like a Bloodthorn or a Hex or something that kind of like throws a wrench in and all of a sudden you can kill somebody you couldn't before, but it's difficult. You just need so many items.
And you're also playing versus an Oracle, right? You just presses. There's a lot. There's
just saves whoever you go on, yeah.
So how does OG fix this? Because if they want to play for such an early timing, which this game it seemed like they want to do that, my inexperienced brain says Naga Siren does not fit in that type of lineup, Purge.
I feel like if they were playing against a hard carry that wasn't so good at accelerating and farming in the ultra late game, like if it wasn't an Alchemist here, if it was a more traditional carry, then all that pressure they put on him would have turned to then Puck like just smashing the map continuously and he can't catch up as fast. Like Doom still would have been really farmed, but I think if it wasn't an Alch, they would have had a better shot at winning late game.
So when Keeper of the Light and Spearbreaker were chosen by OG, they knew Doom, Oracle, Bat. I guess from that side of things, Faithian, you wouldn't have been able to tell that 9Pandas was going to be able to deal with such a fast-paced lineup. Do you think that they just made the mistake of assuming that 9Pandas would pick different things? Like, how do you feel like OG got into this situation?
I think this game, OG's draft, the problem is they pick Naga so fast. They pick Naga at 8th, and it gives 9Pandas so many time to think how to play against this Naga. And also they pick Koto and Breaker. It's just no pressure on early stage. So this Alchemist come very natural and very easy way. So yeah, I think that's the OG's problem.
Well, a lot to work on, but I think for a lot of people it will be nice to just say, you know what? The draft was the problem. we would have done fine if we had a different draft. We're gonna find out if OG can get a better draft on the board against 9Pandas in game number 2 after a break.
I think my signature hero would be Morphling. I think I have the most games on it in my career and highest win rate among those heroes. So I think Morphling.
Tomato, full HP, full strength, and incredibly tanky.
I like the idea of humans trying to achieve perfection but never achieving it and still striving for it. I think Morphling really embodies that, where you'll never be the best morph. There's so many good morphs. And I have like 1,000 morph games and I still have to keep practicing the hero. I don't remember my first Morphling game. I remember against 9Pandas Dream League this year.
They got him, Morphling. Dragged down to half HP straight up, but he's shifting, he's BKB'd and he's into Magnus mode, skewers across 2 heroes, Ramsey's Kiyotaki intro.
I feel like the game was really hard. My team wasn't doing so well after lanes and they had this counter pick on me, which was a Varong at the time. I told my team, guys, I'm gonna kill them all. And then I just like 3v1 them, 1v4 them. I was just very confident. Anything that we were playing. I guess we're both kind of chill, you know, we kind of flow, go with the flow of the water. We're also able to morph into the situation that we're in.
My signature hero. That's not a easy one since I switched roles so many times. I did have a lot of fun with Wind Ranger. Maybe I keep the Wind Ranger. I specifically enjoyed the skill shots about Wind Ranger. I feel like you could look at like a failure, like a non-factor, or you could look like the best hero in the team fight. If I think of like performances on Wind Ranger in the Stockholm Major, I think our first stage game, if I remember, was against Thunder Awaken. They were very strong.
Still they can turn for more. Uragi, he's in straight away on top of Pandas. The Pugner has to run. Shackle.
Pakazi's shackled.
The Gale Force as well, blowing back Pakaz over towards Uragi. He'll get the stun in. Rift as well, dragging him back. They're in onto the void. Whooping forward. Shackle again. Step, locking them down. Thunder Awaken, everybody's dead.
This was the first stage game, so I was like, finally. And I played Wind Ranger, and I felt like I played really, really well this series. Had a lot of impact. And then it got me going. So I remember that series in particular close to my heart. Yeah.
Okay, my signature here would easily be Invoker. What I really like about Invoker is just basically the entire skill set, the entire concept that you mix your own spells and that he just basically has more spells than other heroes. It seemed super, super cool and it seemed really, really complex. So basically in the beginning, he has a big advantage. Oh, he has 10 spells.
Got him. This is huge. This is everything. Second round disarm. Tries to keep him alive, but not gonna happen. Did not have his BKB out and ready, and losing those 2 OEG.
And I've always played like spellcasters in video games, so everything came together.
Welcome back to Riyadh Masters, where we are in day 2 of the group stages here at Gamers 8, and that means a lot of Dota is being played right now. We're in the middle of our first series of the day. There will be 4 series in total today on this stream, but there's 4 series in total on all the streams. There's 4 streams in total, so good luck trying to keep up to date, but that's fine. You'll be kept up to date here as well. Although at the moment we're still wanting to focus on this series that we have. OG 9Pandas are going head to head. First game went the way of 9Pandas. Can OG turn it around? Can OG make a comeback here? We're finding out, as both teams really in need of points. They are at the bottom of Group A right now, or at least in the case of 9Pandas they were. Both teams started at a 1 and 3, and of course right now 9Pandas getting a little bit ahead with a 2 and 3, where OG is sitting at a 1 and 4. Scary times. I'm joined by Purge, Effie, and Faith Bian, and we want to see something different coming out of the draft of OG, which is coming your way in just a couple of seconds. Purge, it all starts with the opening of the draft. We had Elder Titan Naga opening coming out from OG. How different do you think they'll be this time around?
The only thing I wonder, because they did pick Alchemist in the second phase, what if they ban Alch in the second phase instead and do the same opening? Maybe it's okay then. Maybe there's a carry that also could work against Naga, but do you think that would work?
They have to ban Natural Prophet as well.
Okay. Do they have enough bans for all of the bans they need is the question.
Maybe, but I don't think they can they can focus your ban on carry player.
I think if you're gonna Naga in the first phase, banning Alk sounds pretty good, but if you're gonna ban 2 carry matchups for Naga, maybe you're better off not first phasing her. But to me, the closer looked solid. It's just the Alchemist was so effective against her.
Actually, I wish to see OG pick Wisp here, because they also play Wisp and it's a very strong hero. IO, sorry.
Yeah.
That's fine. We know what you mean. We do the same thing all the time.
Okay. Elder Titan again.
They'll go back for the Elder Titan for now. We have the same bans coming out, by the way, compared to previous game. So same opening, I guess in a way makes sense. 9Pandas previously opened with the Doom Oracle. We'll see if they want to do that again. Yes, they do. Okay.
Yes, they do. Why not?
Why not? If it ain't broke, why fix it? Let's see if OG will go for the Naga again, if they think they can protect it properly. So previous game, after picking Naga, they banned out Beastmaster, Timbersaw, and Legion Commander. Maybe, I mean, they would have to let 2 other ones of those through if they ban out Alk and Nature's Prophet instead. That's a tough ask.
Theoretically, you could leave in the Beastmaster and take a Rubik instead of a Coddle, and that way you'd have 2 solutions for 9Pandas heroes in Doom and Beast.
You know, the Oracle, when I watched the laning stage, Oracle wasn't as bad in the first like 3 minutes as I thought it would be. They did a really good job, like purifying flames or range creep before they could last hit it kind of thing. They got first blood as well. They basically waited till Coddle's a little bit too far forward and they channeled Fortune's End with Acid Spray, which bought time for the Alk stun. So I think it's really solid in this case against the ET. I think it's fine for 9Pandas.
It's a bit strange that they're thinking about it so
Yeah,
much.
I think they have to prepare for this, right?
Yeah. So I feel as if they should have already discussed their opener in the break.
I don't know. Maybe they just have some different ideas at this time and they need to talk about it.
Yeah, it does feel a little foreign to take so long when it's the exact same start thus far. And they'll end up going for Visage. Very different.
Yeah, very different.
Is it good different or bad different? Or just different?
Hard to say.
Too early to tell.
We'll see how it goes. The thing about first phase is it's stronger overall if you're very confident in your 8th pick, because the 8th pick can do so much damage to the core that the enemy shows in the first phase, and you can protect it so well. But if you take this long to decide on your 8th pick, it makes me lose a little bit of confidence in OG, if I'm going to be honest, because then 2nd pick is just superior, and you're kind of telling us that you're not exactly all on the same page when it comes to this 8 Visage.
They played it one time before and they actually lost on it. It was DM playing it, of course. It's more commonly offlane hero, but I mean, against an Oracle, you can stop the damage a little bit, but a lot of the lane pressure comes out in the first like 2 levels, basically, right? So Oracle's not really going to be ready to deal with that.
And I feel like 9Pandas themselves can go for Naga if they want to versus this ET Visage.
I still feel this Visage maybe come too early, because this hero is also not, you cannot pick it for everything.
Yeah.
You need to like prepare for it. And I think in this way, in this game right now, 9Panda can have a good prepare on lane to Visage. So maybe it's not so good.
So typically, what kind of conditions do you think a team has to meet for it to be a good Visage game? Like, how do you think that OG can enable this Visage pick?
You have to make sure Visage have a good lane, and you have to make sure that they are afraid of like physical damage, of pushing tempo, and you can pick Visage.
So what can they do now to enable the Visage? Do you think that they could maybe just pick something like a Templar Assassin and try to play on Visage's timing, or it just has to be solved through the bans right now?
I think a good point maybe they can do is they can flex this Visage to mid and off lane. So they can maybe do some do something to confuse enemy. Yeah.
I see.
OG's turn to ban.
Okay, so OG take out the Alchemist because they've identified that it's a very good hero in 9Pandas' hands. They also take out the Bat Rider, which is an Antar specialty hero. They don't want to give it away again because the Lasso was so disruptive last game. And the Bloodseeker.
That leaves Snapfire still in the pool. I want to point that out. That's a hero that is one of the most big spots.
And they also banned Beastmaster last game, I believe,
and
right?
Legion as well. I mean, based on last game, 9Pandas also banned Veno and Lycan. So they went somewhere completely different with this, as they have banned out Clock and Slark, and they are now thinking about their last ban before they get a chance to pick something.
I still feel like the Rubik is quite valuable for OG if they're still looking at it. Like, I know that the Coddle was really effective last game because of the stacks and Puck clearing them and the refresh, but after a while it didn't feel like it could do anything versus 9Pandas. Like, it didn't help versus the Oracle in any way. But I think if you pick a Rubik instead, you can just steal the Doom, and that opens up the team fight for your team.
And interesting, they banned the Naga, feeling like they can't deal with it now. Kind of cool.
Yeah, or maybe just they don't want to have to think about that one anymore.
Maybe the Alk was their best solution by far.
I think Snapfire is a good pick for 9Panda here.
I like Snap also, or Skymage for Antars, or Rubik for 9Pandas if they want to steal it away.
Yeah, they have a lot of nice options. Out of all of those, I would guess the Snap is the one that they least would like to give away.
Seems the best. I mean, it's just such a strong mid hero. I feel like it rotates. It feels like it's good at all stages of the game. It has lots of damage in the lane. You can get kills in lane. You can side lane rotate with your spells or your ultimate. And then in the mid game or the late game, you have tons of physical damage with the talents. So it just feels like kind of a do everything hero that's perfect in this drafting position.
Oh, it will be the Enchantress.
Another way to dispel Elder Titan.
I have a question. We heard during the break, we heard Seb talking about how he likes to play Wind Ranger, especially, you know, on lands like this. We've seen Wind Ranger in the previous game, Faithion as a mid. Do you think there's a chance we'll see her as support this game or this tournament?
I think for Seb, maybe.
Yeah.
Because he loves play Wind Ranger in support. But for other players, I don't think so.
I think Wind Ranger would grief this game in particular. Like, I don't think it's a good fit here. Ooh, the IO comes out that Faithion talked about. Now I hope to see some kind of combo come out, you know? Maybe like an IO Storm or an IO anything that can take advantage of the IO battery.
You know, this makes me think that they're taking Faith Beyond's advice, that they're delaying their important picks until the second phase. They said, like, okay, what hero, like maybe Visage is going to have a harder time, but that's okay. They're just going to accept it, knowing that they're going to get less counter-picked in their second phase here.
IO Razor. When we saw it yesterday, it wasn't great, right?
It was first phase, though, so it was very counter in comparison.
I think it was XG that played it first. It was either XG or LGD who ran IO Razor, and then Tundra ran it afterwards, but XG did win with it. And Tundra's game with IO Razor was quite competitive, but I still think it's one of the best IO combinations. I just like Razor a lot more when it feels like he's countering in specific an enemy core. That just gives the draft a lot more integrity, and that hasn't come out yet still.
I see your point, but he's also pretty effective against these supports, and frankly, all three heroes. If he gets doomed, as long as he casts Static Link first, I don't think he cares as much if he gets doomed. He doesn't care as much about Enchantress and Oracle either, so I think it's decent, and it is a carry that's kind of like good against lots of things. It's maybe not super countering one guy, but I think that's all right in this pick position.
Do you guys like Storm here for 9Pandas?
Oh, they would like the Wind Ranger again instead.
It's another good Wind Ranger aim.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all right clickers on OG side, so he should be able to protect himself well, get out if needed.
You know what feels the best on Wind Ranger when you're playing against IO Razor? Get a Blink Dagger and position so that you get them both together shackled. It's such easy targets because they line up with the tether. You know exactly where to go.
Yeah, and I think Wind Ranger is really good against Visage. Kills him very quickly. She's good because she can break the link from Razor if the Razor is going mid, if it's a BZM hero. And she can eat Elder Titan. Like, this hero does very little by way of controlling her. The only issue I have with the Wind Ranger right now is just in terms of draft synergy for 9Pandas, it doesn't feel like they have the clearest way to start a fight until Doom gets his Blink Shiva's guard. So if they can maybe pick a carry, you know, something like a Faceless Void or any kind of carry that can go in and start the fight in the early game, I would like to see that.
Yeah,
9Pandas.
yeah, they definitely need someone to open the fight. And this game is very good for Wind Ranger. No catch, no catch to catch her.
Yeah. How do you feel about this Enchantress? I think Enchantress Doom lanes are usually very good at pressuring carries.
They just want to play it fast. They want win lane and push tower and give pressure to Visage.
And you think it's enough, right? Do you feel like this Visage has been solved?
It's hard to say because Visage is kind of you are fixing your own draft. If you have you can make a good ball, then Visage is fine. It can play, yeah.
But it doesn't feel like a great Visage game to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you guys think about like Dragon Knight carry for 9Pandas? Could kind of do the initiation thing they might need. You get that slow later on against Razor could be good.
I don't like it versus Razor actually, because then you have a good static link target.
Okay. What about like more traditional Scotty buyer, like a TB or something? You think that would be good enough against OG?
I think it could definitely have merit because the Scotty is always going to be useful, and then of course TV will eat Razor in the late game. I would just like for them to be able to take the fights early on 9Pandas instead of just farm the entire time. So a fighting carry like Monkey King or Void or something.
I think they need a Void, but maybe... Oh, Meepo. No, they can't play Void.
No more.
So...
Interesting.
Visage mid or Meepo mid?
Meepo also can go off lane.
Yeah.
I think they can still flex here.
I think it's Iron Razor.
They can pin what carry 9Panda pick, and they choose who go off lane.
Yeah, I think it's Ire Razor carry actually against this Doom Enchantress. I think Ire Razor can lane very well into Doom Edge.
Yeah,
makes the most sense to me.
Razor is a good counter to Doom.
Yeah, and then you can put Meepo mid or Visage mid depending on whatever you feel better. But I like that.
Oh, it's carry Doom.
Or
all right,
yeah, I guess
carry Wind Ranger.
You dodged the Ire Razor that you just read. Odds carry Meepo.
It is carry Doom.
Ah.
Okay. And carry Meepo.
So it's Razor mid, carry Meepo, offlane Doom. So Doom's going to be playing, offlane Visage. So Doom will be playing into Visage, and Meepo will be playing into Beastmaster, which I think is a pretty good lane for Beastmaster, honestly.
I'm so confused right now. I can't even respond to your question.
Okay,
There's still a lot of weird lane swaps.
Beastmaster Enchantress. Let's just start there because that seems like an incredibly strong lane. Like against anybody, let alone against, what is it, Meepo Elder Titan. That's just sad for Meepo and Elder Titan.
This top lane is really powerful for 9Pandas. This Beastmaster Enchantress, they're going to pressure the Meepo really well, and then they're going to take his jungle. Like when you have Beast Enchantress, they're going to take the top side of the map. So when Meepo is recovering in the jungle, it's going to be a lot harder, and he's going to be a lot more threatened. So this is one of the best lanes that 9Pandas can ask for.
Okay, so where is OG going to find their advantage, Purge? Because it's not going to be Meepo Elder Titan. They got Razor versus Wind Ranger.
It sounds like, and laning, like, killing Doom as a Visage sounds less likely anyways, because you have way more HP and regen than a typical carry. So, I don't know, it feels kind of hard. Maybe rotations.
I think for both team on lane stage, you don't need to worry too much. The point is, after laning stage, the pressure on Beastmaster and Visage, because these two are, like, the core, they pushing towers. So, they need to deal with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna find out. Does OG have a better plan this time around compared to game number 1? We're heading over to Cap and SVG to find out.
What's the worst that could happen?
It's gonna be an interesting one as we have a Meepo for Yuragi, who's only played it once in his entire professional career. I would say it's hardly even counts as a pro match because it was on a team called Nova, with a bunch of players I don't recognize. And he actually played against a team called Tempo, which has Noob on it.
I remember that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost.
What? Don't remember shit.
Yeah, he lost that game.
You remember the EGB Isolation Cup?
Rings a bell.
Get the
no,
Get out of here.
I remember looking at that game because I've been looking through players' history. Seeing who plays Meepo and who doesn't. Because at this tournament, you kind of need someone who can play Meepo.
Agreed.
And when I was looking at OG's games this morning, I was like, who plays Meepo on this team, right? I only saw the one Yuragi game.
And Yuragi has played a couple games recently on his main account, surprisingly, which I feel like almost nobody does. He's played 2 games of Meepo just 3 days ago. He's only played 39 games in total in pubs on his main account. I'm sure his Smurf has some, you know, as all players do. But, you know, that is not a healthy amount of Meepo games.
No. I don't think of Yuragi as a Meepo player. Maybe this game will change my opinion on that. I'm more than open to being convinced here. I think some of these cheese picks can be one of OG's weaknesses so far. They tend to pick more honest than a lot of other teams. So they're trying to expand that a bit. You know, they get the IO Razor cheese in here. They get the Meepo cheese. There's some Visage. This is a very toxic draft, if I may say so myself. And then you have Seb on IO. I mean, that speaks for itself.
Yeah, but cheese is only good if it's aged. And
well,
Yuragi's cheese is.
That's why they left it in
like
the pit last game. It's been aging the whole time, and now it tastes amazing.
So. A throwback joke. Thank you.
Deny on the board. He'll get the courier instead. Taiga cannot be stopped here. It's a massive spirit for level 1. He got an okay trade. This is actually one of the reasons I like buying salves on Elder Titan as he flies in a salve. Beautiful. Elder Titan gameplay here by Taiga. I actually think salves tend to trade better on this hero than the early tangos because you want to maximize the hits and just force out the regen trade and go back in.
Oh, this mid-fight is gruesome. BCM and Kiyotaka just going blow for blow.
Yeah,
Speaking of blows, Taiga is raining down blows on Miro and will secure the first blood. Your salve comes into play.
And he buys another one. This is how you win the level 1 with the ET. It's very hard to do it over time with tangos because it's very discreet trading. You go in, you all in, you get low, you salve back up, you go in again. That's where you're going to get the surprise kill factor with two hero spirits. Really nice early laning from Taiga. I like this. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful Elder Titan gameplay because you need these early level advantages in order to get you to the level 3, especially versus a lane with Enchantress who's going to be purging your spirit buff anyway, right?
Yeah, frankly, I feel like, okay, you did it at level 1, but is he ever going to do it again?
That's the thing. I don't think he should have been able to do it in the first place. I think you just hold the skill on Antares here, and the second he runs in with the spirit, you purge him with level 1 Ench slow. I think the early impetus, or maybe just using it aggressively, did not work out here for 9Pandas on a lane that should have been able to deal with this very easily early on.
Yeah.
But, you know, Taiga takes advantage of it, buys the effective regen, and makes it work. This lane over time will not be that easy, though, because your aggressive potential shouldn't exist. It'll be a question of how much 9Pandas can extract from there, and yeah, like Faith Beyond says, it might just be a race between the Visage and the Beastmaster in this game. Like, which aura buyer that's the engine in their 5-man group up is going to come online first, have a better laning phase, and take it to the enemy supports. I think this Visage was a direct answer to the Oracle that caused OG a lot of problems last game, particularly in this ET team fight, that they didn't have a hero to get online or a Zoo hero to kind of disrupt the flow of those fights. So this Visage, he's designed to kind of counteract that, pick from solo out again, and get the job done.
Why? Why is Visage good against Oracle?
Put the birds on him.
Okay.
You don't like the birds.
I mean, I get that when you get, like, later, when you get, like, an Aghanim Scepter and you do that Invis thing and you go around and take out the supports at the start, but is Visage really that good in the first, like, 25, 30 minutes of the game?
Yeah, I think Oracle doesn't have a lot of aggressive potential on you because you get Graves Keepers. The birds are always annoying for him. You build early auras so you can fall into these 5-on-5 sustain fights where you actually have advantage. And I think a lot of times Visage drafts end up, I don't know about this one, but sometimes they end up in this category where you have Luna Visage or Drow Visage, at least historically. And those types of sustained physical damage lineups are what punish an Oracle. Because your Fate's Edict isn't as good, your defensive capabilities aren't as good. Even if you save someone, they continue to get right-click down from a Drow, Luna, or Visage, right? And then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Those types of sustained physical damage lineups that can just push through fights are generally what Oracle struggles against.
Kiyotaka, why'd you come back?
Because he didn't expect Seb to be there, but Seb is always there for the high five.
And DM is going to be chased down in bottom lane, though I think he has enough magic wand charges. Yes, Seb comes back, gives him the heal, and he's good.
Overtime, even gets a courier kill.
Bye-bye, Boots.
And a range denial. Like, this guy's too good.
The Seb IO.
Two old men going at each other down here.
That's true. Seb and Solo are actually Those are two of the relics of like the 2012 days.
I mean, it's some real old school. They're going to try and turn her back around on a raindrop. Is not enough here. Does Ramses want to die? I feel like he kind of does.
Yeah, it kind of sucks to be a carry and just kind of limping around on low HP, not able to get CS because you're too low.
Yes, he's going to make the trek to base here. It also just kind of sucks, especially since he lost his boots. It's ultra slow.
Oh yeah, this is really terrible.
I also think the Visage is pretty nice versus the Oracle because you build early physical boosting items, right? You can go a Drum, you can go a Solar Crest. These are also items that are nice versus the Visage in terms of, again, his spells just don't counteract it that well.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really disarm a bird either. I guess you can.
I mean,
More time action. Ooh, little power shot action.
I could see it from the physical damage sustain aspect of it being really good versus Oracle. I like that argument.
Solo. You greedy man. That's a fast Razor right there. Like the move, though.
Not going to catch him.
These couriers are just dying all over this.
Yeah, seriously.
Courier apocalypse. My God. Protect them. Even Yuragi's here with one of the clones, but doesn't want to man up. Knows there's a Dispel.
Yeah, I wonder what you do with safe lane Meepo. Like, what do you do when you get that clone? Well, it seems like defend your own jungle and punish Antari's Enchantress trying to play some invasion.
Nice little efficiency here. This is how you get those extra levels up on the Meepo. Really take advantage of it. EZM continues to drain the damage away from Kiyotaka. He's not having fun in this lane. Oh, he's making it work, and okay, that was not a rune that Solo should be able to walk up and get. And yeah, you were saying these are two old school players. This is a matchup we would have seen 10 years ago. Quite
Sigma
literally.
versus Rock's Kiss.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they were both awful back then, but then
that's true.
They both got really good.
Actually, Sigma was okay.
Yeah, that team was actually pretty good for like one tournament.
It was actually the Sep teams before Sigma
That's true.
that were not.
He had like a mini
best.
peak. But hey, it worked out for both of them in the end, right?
It did indeed. Players that were perhaps ahead of their time.
Maybe they're still ahead of their time. Can't count them out.
Kiyotaka looking to catch up for a focus fire kill. And they'll have it.
Yeah, a little greedy there. They're trying to scout some stacks, see what's up with the Meepo.
Man, they really are trying to push DM out of this experience range whenever the push comes into the tower.
I mean, I like this. There's not much offensive capability in IO Visage before the 6. You may as well try and limit the XP that this bird's going to get before he gets that online.
Roar on one of the low Meepos.
Oh, that's a huge kill if he gets it.
There too. Yuragi not really microing the best there.
That did not look optimistic. I'm not going to lie. Not the cleanest early micro I've seen. I mean, these are the stages when the micro should be the best too.
I'm telling you,
single clone.
It's not fine aged cheese, Avery.
I gotta leave
this
it in the pit a little longer.
This is new cheese, and they brought it out of the. Where do you put
cellar?
Cellar. They brought it out of the cellar too early.
Wow, you really struggled.
I was gonna say fridge.
I mean, you can put cheese in the fridge, but that's not where you age it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not where I would age cheese.
You will hit the 6 here on the Visage. This is when this OG lineup starts to power up. It gives some more playability for your supports as well. If you can ever connect the Razor and the birds in the early game, that's going to be your real power point while this Meepo just farms up some jungle and maybe joins a really good fight. Kiyotaka's continuing to take names, or is he? Oh yeah, he got a lot of damage drain. EZM continuing to annoy him
too much.
He's just not finding anything. He's just getting kited out.
Do you think this matchup?
He should get solo.
Yeah, with the next plasma field, perhaps solo.
Wand actually in raindrop.
Yeah, he's good.
Man, BZM is struggling. He doesn't have stuns to help him connect on these kills. It's just the IO to buff him up later. ET is also great in that late game for now.
Kiyotaka almost getting caught there. If he got hit by a stomp after a win run, that would have been real bad.
Also, this Beastmaster is getting a lot right now. He just finished up a big Ancient stack. He had a good lane phase. He got that kill. This is their Meepo answer, too. With the Ags Rush on the Beast, you get this drum going.
Yeah.
That is why I think they last picked it here. He's going to be pretty unstoppable in the fights. When these drums hitting all these units going in.
But then he turns into the Mega Meepo, and then he doesn't get the same number of charges.
Is there a counter to Mega Meepo? I guess it's Outworld Devour and Shadow Demon. But you can't pick those here.
Necrophos.
Sure. Alright, Kiyotaka just does not like Taiga here.
Yeah,
Is that the third focus fire on him?
I feel like he got momentum in game 1 off of Taiga kills.
He's doing it again. These add up. It's a lot of gold from him.
BCM opting to go for the kill on a solo instead of trying to chase after Kiyotaka, who has a counterplay with Winrun. I was curious what you made of this matchup, the Winrun versus Razor, which I feel like can be good in both ways.
Ooh, that ice armor, man.
Like 8 HP, I think, is what Ramses would left on there.
It makes all the difference. This is a good ice armor game, too. That is... Dude, Ramsey's got such good RNG. He had the heartbeat creep for the lightning on the lane, then he gets an ice armor, and he has the extra magic resist from that circle. My God. Chill, bro. Like, save some for the later stages of the tournament, you know? You're going to use up all your RNG early.
They're still chasing after him. He's trying to work on Animinus. Not terribly surprising. I'm not even sure why I'm saying it. Look, everybody, a Doom's going Animinus.
Now, what else do you go, right? Radiance? That could be interesting.
BZM shackled up here, but he is going to be able to fight back with Seb joining him.
I got the link broken.
Static link broken, so Kiyotaka can go back in to try and put some damage onto him, but it's not the fastest. And now with DN here, Kiyotaka is going to be in some trouble. The Visage Familiars. Oh, a little bit of miss micro from the other member of OG. Dropping the wrong familiar. This one will drop right on Kiyotaka's head. They'll land the stomp. They're still going to chase after Kiyotaka, even maybe into the tower. It's going to be a close call, but DM with that final nuke, not going to be able to get him. Fate's Edict will bail him out. Solo will lose his life, though, for saving Kiyotaka.
As ball's heating up for OG, they're finally bringing it all together. Well, the Meepo does his own thing. This is where these four thrive. Very hard to fight into them. They just chase you down. And that worst just exploded here in the last 2 minutes for OG as they clean up a tower, clean up a couple kills, force some heroes back to base. The only hero that's going to continue to ramp up here until the Midas and Max Devour online for Ramses is that Beastmaster, which, I mean, Miro is going untouched. He is kind of the real carry here with that early Ags that's going to come online. I just wonder if you're going to be able to force the issue. Because you're going to have a very fast Ags here. What do you do with it? Do you just start pushing down towers? Are you happy if you're trading the map out? It's a big question. You were talking about this Wind Ranger Razor matchup. I think it is quite good for Wind Ranger. You can normally kite out the link. You are a hero that can match Razor in the move speed, and then your ult kind of just owns it for a lot of the game. I think the later and later it goes, it gets better for Razor in some ways, though. Like, you get to Nullifier points, you get to Halberd points, you become really tanky.
Yeah, like at some point in time, I could see a world where like draining the Wind Ranger's damage doesn't feel that good because he's putting out a ton of Maelstrom or Gleipnir damage. But then later on to the game, you know, Universal Hero and such, you're more reliant on the physical aspect. Rod of Atos put to work here from Uragi with the relocation coming in from OG. They've got to pick off on Ramses. Tries to go for Desperate TP, but of course that will not work. Not with Taiga in the neighborhood anyway.
Yeah, you get to this mech on Seb, it is completed. This is where OG want to basically take any fight. I don't think 9Pandas have enough to deal with the mech IO here, pumping up the Razor going in with Solar Crest and Drum gonna finish on the Visage here. This is such an early timing here from OG. Pretty similar to last game, right? They played that very fast as well. They just have an idea that they want to take away the map from 9Pandas. Miro's gonna trade out some of the space. You just don't want to fall into a similar situation last game where you feed away some big core kills and then you lose all that momentum.
Yeah, it feels like this game they're not going to run out of gas, but I could be wrong. We'll see. Roar goes out.
Not a move that they expected.
Oh, Seb's trying to heal him as much as he can, but the mech.
This Ags is already up for Miro, by the way. This is a super fast Beastmaster.
Yeah, you can't fight this beast. You can't do it.
Seb got the tether cancel. They're kind of body blocking each other a bit, though. I think OG not expecting that sort of net worth to come out right here, and the Meepo's not ready to join the fight, so you're kind of just left alone on your other two cores. That four-man ball is strong. Not that strong, though. I don't think you have answers to this Beastmaster right now.
I mean, what a difference it would have been, though, I think, if he had the mech for the Razor kill. That's a significant heal up, but another Rod of Atos this time for the Wind Ranger. Plasma Field going out to slow down Antares.
Another link that's just going to get broken here.
Yeah.
Man, the lack of lockdown for OG is really hurting BZM in his early fights. He's not getting the connections he wants, even with the extra move speed.
It looks like one of those matchups where you really want like a disruptor. Looks like Ramses threw a Doom out onto the Meepo, probably got ganked by Uragi, tried to respond with something, but again, the relocate off of the Meepo setups is super nice. Taiga trying to stop Kiyotaka from killing him. It's not going to work, but the Earth Splitter is going to be able to hit Miro here. Can they bring down this Beastmaster? He doesn't have the Primal Roar, so he's not going to get those maxed out clap charges, but he does have the save coming out from the Oracle. A TP way, no stuns. Miro will get out, but Solo will die again to save a core.
He knows his job this game, you know? Sacrifice a little bit of himself to boost up his core heroes so he can't get flamed in the end. That's a good job. It's the most an Oracle can do. It is a fight they don't get to capitalize off this Beastmaster strength, though, which is good for OG here, as they're slowing down Miro's timing with this really powerful item versus their kind of group up Zoo. It's also something you're going to have to think about, like, this Oracle ult on the Beast is actually a lot of heal, right?
Yeah, it is.
Not a hero that used to be able to amplify this. Now it does. Also, if you get that Oracle Axe and you spell amp him up, that is a nasty hero to get some
then
spell amp
he's attacking even faster, so then he gets the more drum beats coming out.
Exactly. See, now you're understanding the meta here.
I'm not sure if you're understanding the meta, seeing as not a single person has got Aghanims on Oracle yet.
Well, maybe they don't understand the meta. Is it me that's wrong? No. It's everybody else.
It's the pro players that are wrong. Primal Roar goes out. Miro right on top of a Meepo. Yuragi tried to make a move, but 9Pandas this time around say, screw this relocate shenanigans. Let's group up. They can't get the numbers advantage this way. They relocate into death, it looks like. As Seb trying to get him out. Oh, he died on the last bit. Seb will return solo with carrying the corpse of BZM.
That's quite sad.
But you didn't. Well, that was a monster move from 9Pandas. More like a, I mean, I guess it was OG moving into 9Pandas, who were just kind of like 5-stacked on top of each other, but
I think it's still a little... I mean, I don't want to say it's too early for OG to be looking for those types of things, because it is what their lineup wants to do. It's just when you pick those fights with the Meepo needs to have the extra impact to push it over the top. And if that doesn't connect right away, you kind of get stuck in this situation where the heals sustain the multiple win runs coming out. Like, this is just a weird connection, right? Because the Meepo's here first. And I don't know if that's what you really want for OG. He's just gone. By the time the Visage is in here with the auras, by the time a Stomp comes out, by the time the reload comes in, he's dead.
Meepo needs to be finding the pickoffs or coming in late to the fight, because he can't go into the Beastmaster.
You want the front line here for OG and the Razor with the IO pump up in the mech and the birds going in to be the first point of contact, not this Meepo, unless it's a solo target like you're saying. Maybe later on when he's way stronger, he has a lot more stats.
When he has Mega Meepo, I feel like maybe that's fine.
Sure.
But he doesn't have it yet. He is closing in on it, last I saw.
Double damage for BZM, maybe he's going to help you take that. That is a big fight to lose, however. They'll try and get the punish on this. He's just out.
Oh, man.
Lack of stuns is going to be something OG have to think about this game, as Taiga goes down to Kiyotaka again. Man, how much of Kiyotaka's gold this game has been extracted from the Elder Titan? That is something to consider here. It has been a decent chunk.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably take a look at his overall. Perfect, thank you, production.
Yeah,
so
like
kills, 1,900 gold off the
right
kills,
there.
and he's killed Taiga probably 3 or 4 times.
I think it's been 4. Like 12 or 1,300 gold. These support kills are worth a lot more than they used to be.
Yep.
And here's tier 2 power push. Pretty greedy from 9Pandas, considering they know Kiyotaka can't be here.
It is, and they're going to get punished for it. Solo's dead first, and they're going to try and grab whatever else they can. They've caught Miro. All they need to do is keep the Meepo away from this Beastmasters. The drums is healing him up. Be careful of that. Fortunately, there's nobody else from 9Pandas willing to fight.
I'm surprised OG didn't pounce faster. It was like, what the hell is 9Pandas doing there?
Yeah.
Especially the aggressive position from Solo. I think they almost didn't realize, hey, wait a minute, our Wind Ranger TP'd out bottom, guys.
Yeah,
we should not be pushing it tier 2. Very awkward fight. They also gave the Aegis to the Wind Ranger, not the Beastmaster here, so that push is also a bit more sus. Big kills to give away. You have that Ags online for Yuragi. Mega Meepo's coming soon. And you just injected a whole lot of net worth into the Razor that you had no business getting that easily.
Yeah.
Big little turnaround for OG. This lineup is going to scale way harder than the one in the previous game, right? You have multiple avenues on your cores to pick up the physical damage later on, which was a big problem in game 1. You have ET Aura to throw on top of all of it. All of a sudden, these stomps and reloads and tether saves that bail out your cores and reset the fight are actually accomplishing a lot more because you have damage to throw back into these 3 cores from 9Pandas, unlike last game where it was just entirely on Yuragi.
Yeah, with the new options that Meepo has between the Mega Meepo and the Shard, I feel very confident about OG's late game, which I think was the exact opposite situation in game 1, where felt like that Alchemist was going to take over the game eventually, but Kiyotaka is getting going, man. He's got a Gleipnir.
This is actual deja vu, man. I just feel like half this game has been Kiyotaka killing Taiga in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
At this point, just bait it. If I'm Taiga, I'm like, yo, boys. He's going to do it a 6th time in a row. I guarantee it.
What happens if you doom a Meepo and it gets Mega Meepo'd? I assume this is just going to be a non-option for Ramses until he has the Aghanim Scepter. It looks like DM is right in the mix of things. They're going to relocate, go for Kiyotaka. It's going to be locked down. They're trying to focus on a Meepo right now. Can he get the Mega Meepo together? He's already got the mech, and there it is. Mega Meepo, so there is going to be doomed Meepo, but it doesn't matter. They're just going to march forward with this tanky unit and let BZM put out the damage here. Kiyotaka's going to be next. The ensnare's not quite landing, but maybe a slowdown of plasma field will allow them to catch up, and yeah, he's gonna die once, he's gonna die twice.
Yeah, the overwhelming chaser from OG is where this lineup shines. You cannot end up in a position like this if you're 9Pandas where you're getting routed. The chase is basically infinite, and the damage, there's nothing you're really wearing out. There's no big ults you're getting rid of. There's no cooldowns that you're happy, oh, we got that out of him, now we can turn. There is no turning versus lineup. It is continual, especially if your Beastmaster cannot stand his ground, and now he's getting caught as well. Is Yuragi gonna win this fight?
He's got the shards, so
I don't know if you're winning this fight, son.
Let's see if this one Meepo can dig himself to safety.
See you later. I'm back.
It pops back out. Miro is gonna try and chase after him. The drums.
Not gonna lie, this
beating back all these OG heroes, and I think the Axis. Oh, the Meepo. Mega Meepo came up just in time.
All right, that was a little damage test. You know that. You know, it's like Elden Ring. You go in, you test the boss. You're gonna come back later with some upgrades.
Yeah, you're gonna need to level up a bit more.
So it'll go farm some boars in the jungle. Return later when this Beastmaster isn't as scary. By the way, he went to Vampire Fangs here for some extra spell steal.
Oh, nice. And then he's gonna get a Heaven's Halberd, which the Sange will amp up that lifesteal stuff even more.
This is good stuff. You get that Oracle Ags on top of all
Oh, man.
Now we're talking, baby. He's gonna be the real carry of this game. Absolutely.
That is true, I think, for another 15 minutes.
Also, that Doom Mega Meepo interaction is dog dumb. Yeah, well, that's another word for it. Like the fact you can suck up the doomed Meepo and then your Mega Meepo isn't doomed.
Yeah, because he threw out the ensnare, so he wasn't actually, it was just that one Meepo that was still
But if you
doomed.
doom the main Meepo, then the Mega Meepo is doomed.
Yes, then you won't be able to get off Mega Meepo. Right. So you have to find the real Meepo? That's just a mess. I mean, better
It's
just
annoying.
to get an Aghanim Scepter.
Exactly, just
right?
get a Shiva's Ags and then just doom them all.
Yeah.
Still a very obnoxious hero for Ramses to deal with this game, which is why, you know, they had choice in the last pick. Like, do we play this Doom 3? Do we play it 1? Do we want a carry that can deal with the Meepo? Do we want an offlaner who can deal with it? They went with the Beastmaster over something like, I guess, Sven. I don't even know what carry really deals with Meepo. I think this hero's kind of just busted, to be honest. Unless you get like a really good anti-Meepo cheese pick.
Carry Earthshaker.
Yeah, like Elder Titan, Shaker, these Wyvern, I think is still good. People forget about that hero, but
oh yeah,
it is very good for Meepo.
Ensnares, Gleipnirs for the relocation on the side, but a counter by Prem the Roar plus the Doom, a lot being used on a BZM who already casted all his spells, and Zev is getting all of his heals over to him. They're focused so much on the BZM, they finally bring him down, yes, but is it going to cost him his team fight? 9Pandas, Centauri's chasing after him, Impetus is raining down on the Meepo is going to die.
Nice positioning from Miro in that fight. He just starts on the backside, and all of a sudden this Beastmaster gets so much value out of his positioning. Heals from Sebar a lot. It takes him a decent chunk to get through this Razor. I don't even know if that's like real damage. That seems way more than I saw the Meepo do, but I guess he did 9,000 technically. They're even gonna get Seb on the other side of the map here.
Nice pickup.
Shackles have been on point from Kiyotaka. Oh, this is just yeah.
Kiyotaka taunting Seb a little bit. Seb will tip him back.
I mean, that is the correct play. You know? Because technically you waste a bit more time from this Ion.
Yeah, you delay out his revive.
Oh, they're going to get him. Okay.
I wish
you should have taunted, my friend.
I wish Seb had saved that tip. If he used it right now, that would have been the chef's kiss.
If you could high five from the grave, you know he'd be spamming it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he'll get him around here.
Oh, they should add that. That's a great idea. So, high five.
Let's not give
as a corpse.
Let's not give OG any more firepower.
I'm surprised this works so well.
I guess all his damage went into the Beast here, into the Crimson and heals. Miro's just invincible.
Yeah,
Crimson also. This is a very good Crimson game, right? And the whole thing is the whole fight on Tari's is actually doing a crap ton of damage. It's been one of the issues people are trying to deal with this patch, this meta, this tournament with this Enchantress. We saw it from Save yesterday.
Yeah.
This hero always gets farmed. She always becomes that fourth core problem, and it's honestly a pretty decent core Ench game. It's hard for OG to burst the Enchantress here. You can link him. Do you want to link him? If he has a Hurricane Pike later, that becomes also more annoying, right?
Yeah.
It becomes very obnoxious. It's going to be a hero that OG have to think about. Vessel will be the choice for Taiga, trying to deal with the heals that are coming out between this Beast and the Oracle. And that'll be 2 big armor items done, the AC for the Racer and the Shivas for the Doom. Both teams trying to gear up for this physical man fight that they know is coming and is going to decide the game. Any percentage-based damage you can get, any anti-healing you can get is going to be nice for both sides here. Kind of racing towards the same ideas, just it's going to be a different route to get there. Who gets the shard? Antari, so more farm capability for him. Similar to last game, he has picked up a lot of net worth here. He's had a quiet, in some ways he's a quiet player. I feel like he always goes under the radar, but does his job very consistently. That Bat Rider from last game was definitely a problem for OG, and this Enchantress is going to be another one. He is climbing that net worth chart right behind the Visage. This is scary. He's building a vessel of his own, so both teams are basically going for similar solutions here.
Does Little Friends work against familiars?
No.
I'm not sure if familiars, because it doesn't work on ancients, like the Helm of Overlord creep.
Actually,
so I'm not sure if familiars are in that same class.
It might work on familiars. Familiars are weird. They're a very weird unit. I feel like it actually might, though.
I think it might, too.
Yeah.
That'll be really interesting to see.
Look out for it.
BKB done for Kiyotaka. So now he has a lot less to worry about. No longer has to worry about being locked down by the Meepo and then grabbed by the static link.
Kiyotaka flirting with danger here.
Yeah, he's got that BKB. He's going to put it to the limit here with the Gleipnir coming out. The rest of the team coming through the portal. They're going to go finish off Taiga and then now focus on BZM. But Miro's got to be careful. He's pretty far forward with the Nullifier and a Doom placed onto him. A lot of damage. He's getting some heals. And now the False Promise comes through. And now OG have been broken. They have to make a Meepo. They have to relocate out. They have to do anything they can to get away from this team fight because it is no bueno.
That is not a hero you can man fight. There's just no answers. This Beast with the Oracle behind him. Once again, Solo is just making these fights so damn problematic for OG to commit into. They don't have the best backline jump. Their answer is just consistent damage output. The issue is you can output all the damage you want. I don't think this Beastmaster is dying. They just don't have enough straight up. They're going to try and hide here and maybe go
this
for a
is a bold move against a Beastmaster with Hawk.
Yeah, their ward just died as well.
Oh,
does
God,
it
the
scout him?
Shivas? Oh.
If he had ran to the back of the pit, we'll see if Yuragi goes for this. They're going to TP in the Elder Titan. So the Elder Titan, he's going to have a Spirit out. He might actually just stomp them all in the pit.
Oh God, this may not be a steal. This might be a great team fight.
This is a disaster.
They don't see any of this. They're all going to be caught. The clap gets hit.
God.
They don't have an Earth Splitter. They just have the Earth Splitter hit it big time. Holy crap.
Oh, 9Pandas.
A moment of silence for 9Pandas throwing away another game in the Roshan pit.
My heart goes out to the entire Eastern European region right now, as I think that was felt everywhere, across every border. My God, what have you done?
I thought he didn't have Earth Splitter.
What have you done?
I thought he used Earth Splitter in that last fight. Oh my God, I could not. How did you? 9Pandas, why?
Well, some lessons were learned today. You know, don't clump.
Yeah, don't.
Versus the World Forger.
Yeah, OG is one of those teams that is more than willing to take 4 versus 5s.
That is a disgust. That turned from like, hey, maybe they're gonna snipe it to Ooh, yeah, that is the correct. Thank you for the carry, Taiga. He definitely pays back the 5 solo kills from Kiyotaka.
Oh, wait, do we ever get to see the damage he did in that fight?
I would love to see the damage coming out from that ET on that fight.
Too bad. Okay, a breath of fresh life for OG to be able to play off of here. 2,000 net worth lead. A bunch of items coming in now.
I think
got
Solo died to Roche, though.
Oh, wait, really?
Out of all of that, I think. Something yeah, he did.
He did.
Freaking Solo, man. He's like, you're not taking me. You can have your combo, but you ain't getting me, son. I'm too wise for this.
Well, he wasn't wise enough to stop it.
No, definitely not.
All right, we have the Aghanim Scepter done on DM, so better option being able to catch Solo.
Oh, they got a burst.
Who just as you speak of it, he's gone.
Good as a kill. The ult's gone for the Beast
Turn around
Master.
a Doom plus Primal Roar. Once again, the split comes in nicely, doing huge amounts of damage, but it's not enough to bail out the Razor, and may not be enough to be able to win this fight. Vero is fighting strong. He finally dies, yes, but I think he did enough to be able to win the fight. They still have an Aegis on this
even
Meepo.
Shackle to?
I'm not sure, maybe another Meepo, but he is going to lose his first life. That's going to help Ramses, who is in trouble.
Tanky as well, man, with the Shivas.
He's going to TP out, see if he could somehow get these Meepos back to safety.
Okay.
That one's going to get away, but this one who
stunts.
dug in is going to be stuck.
Yeah, way too many mini stunts. Nice attempt to try and get out. I mean, these nullifiers are coming out from OG trying to deal with the Wind Ranger. Somehow 9Pandas, after getting completely wiped in the pit, just turned it straight back around, catching OG off guard. Some more beautiful shackles from Kiyotaka. He caught the Visage and the Elder Titan on the side. And once more, the sustain from 9Pandas is what's pushing them through these engagements. The armor on Ramses, the HP on this Beastmaster, it just takes so damn long to go through. The Dooms on the Razor have also worked out really well. They're not focusing the Meepo, they're not trying to focus the Isle, they're just punching through it all.
Taiga, what's going on here? Are you baiting them in?
Yeah, they have nullifiers here. Baits could be
DM is going for Solo with that Aghanim Scepter once again. Solo protects himself with the help of Ramses. Kiyotaka going in. BZM is going to chase him out and gets the kill, in fact. Turns that damage back onto Ramses now, trying to slow him down. Not going to quite get that one. Ramses going for the TP away. The damage. Ooh. And Nuke was almost there in time.
Yeah, this Hags on the Visage is letting him zone out Solo a lot more in these fights, especially if he can just start on him. That's going to be the ideal scenario for OG. Put the birds in, put the Spirit in, get some vision.
I mean, this is kind of cheating.
It is cheating, but we'll give it to him, right?
You get insane amounts of hero damage against a Meepo.
I mean, to be fair, when you pick Meepo, you invite the counter cheese, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this is some justice.
Man, if he gets a BKB, he's going to be untouchable in these Meepo fights.
I actually would like to see a Radiance from someone on 9Pandas, too. I think it's a disgustingly good Radiance game. Just from the AoE evasion, some extra burn damage. I don't know where exactly you fit it in. I think the Doom or the Beast can buy it. I also think when you have these sustain lineups, Radiance is really nice because the fights last very long. It kind of pseudo-protects your supports as well. Like, these birds miss a couple hits or whatever. It's nice for the Oracle, nice for the Enchantress, I would normally say, but I don't think this Enchantress is dying anyway, as Antares continues to climb and put in a lot of work. This game is coming down to, can you burst this Beastmaster? Can you burst this Doom before BKBs and Sustain comes out? Can you build up enough damage? OG are going a lot of utility and defensive items as well, like this Satanic on the Razor. He kind of needs it this game. It is limiting your damage, though. You're also going these nullifiers. Now he's thinking about a Lincoln Sphere.
Yeah, I feel like that's actually some of the problems they've had with this Beastmaster is they're like trying to out-sustain the Aghanim Scepter Beast rather than trying to burst him down.
And their
faster.
burst is just... Like, how do you up the burst here, you know? It's pretty hard. I guess you get, like, Hex on Meepo and just jump Hex him and try and all-in him. The thing is, do you want to link the Beast too? That's where a lot of the damage comes in this OG lineup, is the link damage, building it up. Ideally, BZM wants to be linking the Wind Ranger here, so you get both value. Removing the Kiyotaka and buffing up yourself. You link the Beast, it's good for you, not that influential in terms of stealing the damage away from him. Kind of got to pick your battles. And again, the instant lockdown for OG is not there, so they can't just like jump and pick a hero to burst. They kind of just have to push into the fight and win it over time. push through the front line into the Oracle with the birds. I think the Ags on the Visage is incredibly important here for DM. If he can get a good angle, bypass some of the vision off these Hawks that have also been doing some work for 9Pandas and protecting solo in these fights. BKB up for Antares. Not a lot of BKB control for OG as well. Some of these heroes are just going to run through and be able to pick and choose who they want to go on. Very similar to last game, however, the scale definitely stronger here for OG, so maybe more comfortable prolonging this game a bit.
Sure.
And of course, BZM sitting at the top. This is a big Razor. Lincoln's finished. Can't really just run in and focus fire him as easily anymore, especially if it catches you off guard in the first surprise fight. This is probably not a Lincoln Sphere Kiyotaka might expect. You'll see it here. It does get pinged out. Yeah, he's tanky with the armor, with the sustain. IO behind him as well. This is where IO Razor just becomes a menace late game. If you ever get the Dispel land on the Wind Ranger, you're just gonna melt.
Can you ignore him?
A little bit. Like, you still have some decent sustain. I think it is something 9Pandas can play for. It's just the damage is it's gonna start to come online here. It will not last forever, especially if OG can kite around the beast. Let's say Miro gets slept in a fight. You have this tether, move-speeded Razor. Meepo's going on somebody else. The Visage comes in from another angle. Okay, your beast is tanky. He's a decent frontline, but he's not dealing that much damage. I feel like OG's best game plan is kind of almost just ignore the Beastmaster.
I think so too, because it gives them too good of a false promise target.
Yes, I think them going on beast is a total bait here. Even if you kill him, you're going to pay too big a price. You got to find the damage in the fights. Where's the damage coming from? It's the Wind Ranger, it's the Oracle Sustain, and it's honestly the Enchantress.
Lost the IO already. This is really bad for OG. With no buyback here, they won't be able to save BZM.
Man, Kiyotaka is just putting on a Wind Ranger clinic in this series. OG have no answers for him. And he's forcing the itemization from him. He's forcing out these Lincolns and Nullifiers that they don't necessarily want to build. And he's not even dying to it. Now you died at a bad place on the map.
Yeah,
OG here.
Right in front of your own base.
Double catapult wave.
9Pandas, very likely to get a lane of barracks off of that.
You even have Skeleton Rally from the Enchantress Art coming into play.
And it's pretty nice.
This is also the Oracle ET matchup. You can always wake people from the sleep. You block a lot of his damage. These sleeps are not going to be the setup you want them to be, other than that 5-man Roche wipe.
Yeah.
But you didn't get solo.
That was a rare situation. Who really won that fight? OG or Solo?
Or Roshan? That's just an easy Rax off a single Razor
Can
death.
they get two?
Do keep in mind there is that cheese on Seb from earlier. So you still have basically a second life for this Razor. I mean, a third life after Mech and the Holy Locket here. Birds in the back. He's looking for the Visage.
Yeah, he sees where Solo's at, but they can't fight just yet. 3 more seconds till the Razor is back up. They're going to get the second lane of barracks and get out.
9Pandas, they get a lot for free. You can try and turn.
Yuragi comes in through the side. It's an
Again.
ensnare, lining up the birds. BZM charging out with his ultimate already ready to go. They did not get the catch they were looking for.
You want to find somebody other than this beast.
They got to sleep on the Enchantress. They turn around with a Primal Roar. They're going to try and focus down this Razor. BZM, I think he's going to be okay here. He's got Seb behind him, ready to go with that cheese. And Hero's getting decimated. They go false promise, barely going off in time, but the Earth Splitter did land on top of that as well. Rand's going for a TP out, but he's not going to make it. The damage is too immense.
OG finally able to just sledgehammer through. They even get Miro in the fountain off an ET hit?
It was just the damage
just
put out.
He was the last
false
one to get
promise.
some damage, and I thought it maybe he died in some weird way, but that was enough overwhelming physical. Just run BZM in, and all of a sudden the 9Pandas front line collapsing under the weight of this Razor plus the sustain from the IO.
Yeah,
OG.
you can't go for this Razor without killing the IO first. That's just not going to work.
Especially in that type of situation where a lot of your damage got cut off. The backline was getting thwarted by these birds. The Visage finally picking up some slack here, creating the space, and now OG in a situation where they're trying to rack you back.
Yuragi!
That is a lot of burst.
Mega Meepo happens, and he's able to blink away because the main Meepo didn't take damage.
And they got the Oracle again.
Oh no.
Does
He's
have
got buyback, but
he can come. What's he going to come back into, though, is the question. You don't have BKBs here. You don't have your focus fire.
2 lanes of barracks, 1-1
like
fight into another 2 lanes of barracks.
I think they'll just commit for the Megas. I feel like you do, actually, if you're OG, because you're not a cooldown-dependent lineup right here.
Oh, trying to get that Meepo. Miro, he got the Primal Roar on it as well, but the single target is not immense enough. They do manage to get off the dig. They're going to go for Seb, though. They're targeting him as best they can, but Miro, his drums is not keeping him alive anymore. The damage is too overwhelming for OG. They've lost 2, and they haven't gotten much in return. Yuragi still not dead. Digs once again. DM Stoneform kept him alive as well. That Meepo did come back in after the dig and immediately got shackle shot and finished off. But he does have a buyback. Let's see if they can kill DM. No, relocate gets him out of there. But it does leave BCM alone. That may be very bad. Let's see if he can fight his way out of this one. The damage coming out. Atari's out of mana. Kiyotaka, can he do the finishing blow? It's just enough.
He's out of mana on Antares. The work this Enchantress has done in this fight is ridiculous right now. OG need to take him out, and they will. No buyback for him either.
2 heroes left.
For any of 9Pandas here. OG just want a throne. Yuragi, BZM, both coming back into this game. They say gold is enough to secure this one.
Nullifier, Focus Fire, trying to kill DM, but even if they kill him, their throne is exposed.
It's over.
And they cannot stop OG from claiming game number 2.
Now that game flipped so fast on both sides. We went from a double reaction off a Razor kill to 9Pandas just lose in a single push. I guess that's the power of IO Razor, right? You hit this damage and HP threshold that you can't get through anymore, and he just runs you through the fight. That was always part of the issue in this game for 9Pandas lineup. If your front line collapses between the Beastmaster and if the Oracle dies first on the back line or gets disrupted from saving him, at a certain point your lineup just crumbles under the sustained damage here from this OG lineup that is scaling way better than they did in game 1. I like the response here. I think this was a cool idea versus the Oracle that caused them a lot of problems in game 1. It was an interesting idea to pull out the Meepo that maybe 9Pandas weren't expecting, and man, this ball lineup caused a lot of problems to them. I think the Doom carry felt pretty bad for Ramses here. Like, it's an interesting wild card to pull with this Beastmaster cheese pick that can create a lot of momentum. And maybe if you don't get 5-man stomp wiped in the pit, that game looks a little different. I think that's what they're still thinking about. And, you know, how did that happen, guys? Maybe they felt like they had to do that?
Yeah.
Still, that is a tough fight to throw away. That's a lot of gold lost in that game. If that fight you get that Roshan, maybe you get Megas instead of only 2 lanes, that game looks very different. But that is how Dota works. Very clutch calls from OG to stay around the pit and go for that play. Works out beautifully. And
I mean, I think this is very big for OG in establishing another threat. I love the fact that you point out that cheese has actually been one of their weaknesses. Just the fact that they haven't been able to, you know, pull those things out that some of the other Western European teams have. And now they've got a threat. Yuragi has proven, okay, he could play Meepo. Maybe it's not the best Meepo in the world, but it's good enough to be able to win games.
Honestly, I think the micro in some of the later fights was quite good. Like that last base push fight where he's digging, really nice.
All right, let's go to the stage where we've got Seb and Tsunami.
Thank you very much. I am indeed standing by with Seb, who you actually seem more calm than I expected. Dude, that Roche fight, what was the reaction like when that happened?
Words I cannot repeat here.
How about emotions of, did you guys know that you were gonna win that dominant in that fight?
Yeah, I mean, they had spells on cooldown. We knew that they were all clumped up. And Tommy, Taiga on ET was like, guys, I'm about to respawn. I'm gonna TP, and you know, apocalypse is gonna happen on them. And it did.
أعزائي المشاهدين معانا سب من فريق أوجي هنا في المسرح. سألناه عن إيش الرياكشن اللي صار منهم بعد ما شفنا الروش فايت. كان جدا مو طبيعي قد إيش قدروا يفوزون في الجيم، لكن بكل بساطة يقولون إنه كانوا عارفين إنه كل الابيليتيز حقتهم في كول داون، وقدروا بكل بساطة إنهم على طول مجرد ما إن التيميت حقه سوى ريسبون قال بسوي تي بي وخلاص راح نخلص الفايت، وفعلا هذا اللي سووه.
How about this Meepo pick that you guys whipped out? This is a hero that we're not often seeing, especially on Yuragi's hands. Whose idea was it? Was it a coach, a draft, or was he like, yo, give me Meepo, I'm going to carry?
It was a team decision. I mean, he's talked about Meepo a bit, and we know he likes the hero. He's very good on it. So we were just looking for the right game. And I mean, the way the draft developed, we started thinking about it like second phase, like, oh yeah, this might turn into being a great Meepo game. And it's a very good hero with our lineup also in that game. So yeah, it just was the perfect fit, and we're lucky to have a care player that has like an immense pool of heroes.
زي ما تشوفون اعزائنا المشاهدين قبل شوي في الجيم شاهدنا ميبو في المباراه. سالنا سب انه على اي اساس اخذتوا ميبو، خصوصا انه احنا ما نشوفه ابدا في الجيم مقارنه باول، لكن كان الجواب انه بكل بساطه ميبو احنا كنا ننتظر الفرصه اللي ناخذه، والدرافت اللي احنا شفناه بصراحه يعني شفنا انه هو الخيار الامثل في هذا الجيم. مجرد ما انه يعني كان دي تيم ديسيجن، كل الفريق قرروا انهم ياخذون ميبو، وفعلا كان القرار الصحيح.
You had some time in online Dota on old G. Now you're back on LAN. Are the sensations just as you remember from Arlington?
Yeah, they are. I mean, this is when I feel the best. Like, this is much better much more fun, much more exciting. I feel like I also play much better when I'm on stage rather than in a hotel room or even worse, like at home. Like, I'm so bored of online, and I'm so bored of online. I just want to be in LAN. Like, I feel like this is where I belong. I feel like this is where Dota belongs also. So I'm just really grateful for this event and for, you know, all events in general that are live with people, you know, like humans,
like these people right here.
زي ما تشوفون اعزائنا المشاهدين سالنا سب باختصار شديد عن شعوره بتواجده معنا في اللان ايفنت، خصوصا انه اغلب البطولات اللي لعبها في السنه الماضيه كانت اونلاين، ولا قد شفناه في اللان ايفنت من سنه كامله. فكان الجواب انه بالعكس هو دائما يحب يلعب في اللان ايفنت، ما يحب انه يلعب في الاونلاين تورنمنت، وطفش منها بشكل جدا كبير، خصوصا انه يكون موجود هنا في المسرح، وهو يشوف انه دوتا هي تنتمي الى المسارح اكثر من انها تكون اونلاين تورنمنت.
My last question's a bit about the structure of the team. Misha's gone back to coach. Chu is now assistant coach. And obviously you have a strong background as a coach. How are these responsibilities shared amongst such a large staff that you guys have?
I mean, Misha and Chu are invaluable for the team. They've always been. I mean, ever since Stockholm, I remember like they were one of the big reasons for why we won that tournament. And honestly, immense credits for them, to them. And I think they've both grown. I mean, especially Misha, because he's obviously taking the first role. I remember myself coaching back then, and I watch him coaching now, and I'm very impressed. Like, honestly, I think he's grown into one of the greatest person to have on the team. So big props to him, honestly, like at every level, in terms of like how he understands the game, how he breaks it down for people, how he helps the team emotionally, everything. He's the best coach.
زي ما تشوفون اعزائنا المشاهدين سالنا سب عن الكوتشنج ستاف اللي عندهم، خصوصا انه بتواجد ميشا وتشو، ميشا كهيد كوتش وايضا تشو كاسيستنت كوتش، خصوصا انه سب يعني يعتبر من اقدم اللاعبين معنا، فاكيد انه هو عنده الكوتشنج مينتاليتي ايضا. فسالناه عن ادائه، انه كيف الفريق ما قاعد يتعامل مع الموضوع هذا. بكل بساطه ميشا الان يشوف انه سب قدر انه يتطور بشكل جدا كبير، خصوصا انه في ستوكهولم يوم كانوا متواجدين معهم في اللان ايفنت كان ادائهم جدا كويس، وكل مره سب جالس يعيش التجربه مع ميشا في الكوتشنج، يشوفوا انه ميشا جالس يتطور بشكل جدا كبير، فيهنيه على الشيء هذا، سواء من ناحيه الجيم بلاي، سواء من ناحيه المشاعر اللي موجوده عند اللاعبين والمنتل ستيت حق الفريق بالكامل.
Seb, is a 1-1 split, but these game twos are the ones that we live for on LAN, so congratulations on the win, and thanks for joining me for this interview.
Thank you so much. يعطيكم العافيه اعزائنا المشاهدين، الان انتهت المقابله، خلونا نروح تحديدا نتكلم عن الجيم الرهيب اللي شفناه قبل شوي.
Back to the studio.
Thank you very much to Tsunami, Seb, and of course to Fancy, as we have OG winning this second game here against 9Pandas. It was a great back and forth game. There's a lot of things to try and pick apart, and that's why I have my panel with me. I'm joined by Purge, Effie, and Faith Beyond. Faith Beyond, what would you like to highlight about the game that we just watched?
First, I think we all saw 9Panda win like early game. They last pick Beastmaster, and Beastmaster did a great job. They just play around Beastmaster and winning all the map. And yeah, I think it's a highlight of early stage, and also at mid game and late game. OG have a great comeback with Roshan Pit and the last fight. Yeah,
that was a great Roshan fight to see, honestly, because I mean, Faithian has been talking about how ET just thrives in tournament environments because of the situation that we just watched. Those 5-man stomps in the Roche Pit, that definitely extended the game for OG. They didn't win the game there. That gave them the sign of life to move forward, because if 9Pandas had gotten that Aegis, the game would have looked entirely different. So that was just incredibly well played by them, but I have to call out 9Pandas' mistake, because OG was respawning and all of their heroes were in the pit. I mean, everyone gets caught up in the moment, even the best teams in the world can forget themselves sometimes, but unfortunately for 9Pandas, they forgot themselves at a very crucial moment. The other thing that I have to note is I think Kiyotaka actually threw this game a little bit, or a lot bit. I don't want to blame him entirely, but after 9Pandas got the top racks and the mid racks, Kiyotaka went to farm the Ancients, like the Dire Ancients, and the rest of his team went back together. OG smoked, and they looked for the fight, and they took the fight 4v5, so they actually won the fight because they were fighting without Wind Ranger on 9Pandas, and then they just go into 9Pandas base and they win the game. So I feel like some really, really bad mistakes in crucial moments happened.
I was really impressed by how fast BZM was farming the whole game. His net worth was always at the top, and he's playing Razor. It's not a conventional hero for farming ultra fast. Obviously, IO helps. He moves him around faster. He's got shards, so he's doing AoE damage, but I just thought that was very impressive. He had his 6th slot pretty quick.
He really, really did, and because we really like that big team fight that happened. We chose it for the STC play. You knew it was going to happen. You absolutely knew it because we just like to watch that moment over and over and over again. And this is, I mean, it's one of those moments that, yes, okay, there were some mistakes here and there. Being all in the pit might have not been the best thing to do. Also without vision might have not been the best thing to do. But it does create, Purge, some great situations.
It does, and if they had a maybe more traditional physical damage carry, maybe they feel like they don't need as many people in the pit, but yeah, when they're all asleep and the splitter's coming through,
But they don't have any vision, right? They didn't see it coming either.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a bad call, honestly, because I thought 9Pandas had the better draft this game, personally. Especially with the Beastmaster Doom pivot in the end.
The Meepo felt kind of ineffective for like the vast majority of the game. I felt like he was just dealt with by like the Beastmaster Ags for all the early game. There's lots of opportunities. He was getting shackled and killed by Wind Ranger. The Mega Meepo was fine for a while, but it was like just okay. And then like all of a sudden they won those 2 fights and it was like, oh, Meepo's awesome. Works good here. So.
Mega Meepo. We saw it in action. It was really good. And stopping focus fires actually was pretty decent. Now we had to choose a Quidia MVP for this series. It's for the entire series, not just for the second game. If it was just for the second game, we would have probably chosen BZM. But it's not for just the second game. It's over the entire series. So Faith Beyond, we chose for the Quidia MVP. We chose the Oracle, Solo. He was Oracle both games in a row. Why does Solo make a great Oracle, and why would we choose him for the MVP?
Oracle is a very crucial part of their lineup, and he did a good job on laning both and on team fight every time. So yeah, it makes sense to choose him.
What about when he stayed in the pit? Deserved the MVP.
And did not play his award.
Yeah, but everyone could be responsible for that. Maybe Wind Ranger should shot an arrow and you can see Meepo there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That's true. It was funny because when they pressed Shiva's guard and it didn't catch either Io or Meepo at the very tail end of it, I was like, ah, so close.
It's just unlucky.
But I think Oracle did a great job. A lot of the fights for 9Pandas were turned by the Oracle ulti, which like allowed them to win the fights over and over. And unfortunately, it wasn't enough, right? The issue with this game was for OG's side, their Razor was farming the entire game. He had so much net worth, but he was getting shut down by the Wind Ranger. Like Kiyotaka was going on Razor in every single fight. So he was handling the biggest threat on the side of OG. And the one fight that he wasn't there, OG capitalized on it. They found the 4v5 up. They found a way to have their Razor's net worth be effective, and then they just ended the game afterwards. It was like the 40 minutes beforehand hadn't happened at all.
Yeah, it was a game where the net worth was constantly very close as well. So we definitely saw that happen. Ooh, here we have already Tundra making their way over. That does mean that we're going to move forward from this series. We, of course, have got both of these two teams, 9Pandas and OG. They were at a 1-3 score before the series. Now that the series is done, I mean, they're both at the 3 and 4, which Purge, somewhere it just feels like they sabotaged each other.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes. All the draws can really produce these outcomes, but you got to get as many wins as you can, and it doesn't matter where you go through. There's still a lot of group stage to go, so it could really flush itself out later.
I agree. 2 and 4 isn't the end of the world, especially for OG, who just won in a really spectacular fashion. Like, they thought they were losing, and they get this awesome Rochewood fight, and then when the game ends in 1 minute, you're like, oh, we could have just ended? Huh, cool. That's going to give them a huge confidence boost moving forward into their next series today.
Yeah, it is Group A that is, we consider that the tougher group. You could call it the group of death, if you will, but the reality is that it's especially also both at the bottom and the top half, it's a fairly even group. And that just means it's very difficult for teams to just make it to the top of the group, but also means that at the bottom, it's going to be a mess. There's going to be a lot of teams that have a decent amount of wins that might still potentially get eliminated as the bottom of each group. The bottom 2 teams of both groups will get eliminated. We're going to send 4 teams home by the end of the group stage. And of course, Group A has started the day off. And this is all the games that were going on at the same time. As you can see, the results are fully in. I know, Faithbeyond, you were keeping close tabs on Extreme versus PSG LGD. What do you think of that? And the result with Extreme taking it 2-0.
I'm not so surprised about that, because as my prediction, I put Extreme Gaming on the third of the tournament. So I think Extreme Gaming is the best Chinese team right now.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
Over Aster as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. Very exciting to see them do well. Star player JT, I think I'm gonna keep my eye on him the entire tournament. He pulls out some great heroes. Other than that, Purge, we got Gaming Gladiators and EG tying the series.
Very good for EG. That puts them 4-2, so off to a good start. And Gaming Gladiators, middle of the pack, but they're not going to get bottom 2, almost for sure. So, who cares? They're going to win the tournament anyways, right?
Yeah, it's in the script apparently. We'll see if they can live up to their expectations, though. They got a very high track record to keep up with, and any other than first place is basically disappointment. That sounds like a lot of pressure. We'll see how they deal with that. We got, of course, Quest taking it to Team Spirit, and most of these matches, other than the one we just watched, happened in the hotel. And perhaps now that these games are over,